guys are extremely amused today. That's good.
That fucking killed me.
We're live.
Rip Carter.
Oh, hello.
Carter did.
I'm dead.
We don't need a keyboard, do we?
Not really.
Cool.
We'll just need to remember things.
Oh, I didn't keep Joe.
Damn it.
Yeah. Welcome to Echoville, home of the Echo.
Can I take your order?
I don't know what the
Nope, all gone. No,
audio's gonna sound like.
The Echo Lord has been slain!
And bards.
Yeah, just a pile of dead bards.
And living ones.
And living ones, but the Mound of Dead Bards is a movie reference.
I know. I can't remember what it's... It's a performance, or what's it called? When you're trying to get into the role of something. No, the
Method acting?
Yeah.
Oh.
The bards are method acting as dead bards.
I really enjoy it when bards use non-music based perform actions as their bardic performance.
I said, chat only, no! Stop! There we go, okay. There's just a little bit of shuffling. We didn't hear that much from the stream. We're good.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Now,
Every day I'm shuffling.
God damn it. I knew this would happen.
Yeah. We should probably get started.
No, KrakenQuake is dead now.
Oh, there's an opening story.
Yes, sort of.
What? What? Oh.
You gotta...
Oh.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's a jackal.
Jackals.
Fuck you, jackals.
Oh, good. I get it.
What a bunch of dicks.
Hold on. I don't think we can hear Joe.
I can hear Joe.
No, on Twitch.
Oh.
I don't think
whoops.
the listeners could hear Joe.
Oh. That'd be
So if you could
different.
just do that whole thing over again.
The short
We were just
version...
sitting
I
awkwardly.
think we need to turn Joe up, because
Yeah,
we are loud.
I'm doing it right now.
Yeah.
Oh.
The short version is, we have been at war with some faction called the Jackals. We don't know what that means. We don't know if they're like a people or a race, or just like a bunch of sapient dicks walking around calling themselves the
No thanks.
Jackals.
I need Joe to talk, actually, to be able to balance things. Sorry. That's why I was telling him to read it again, but...
We also haven't done the sync, which we should probably do.
Haven't done what?
I don't think we're uploading this. I mean,
Or we're
we're
not.
uploading this, but they're
Oh,
not.
okay.
So since I'm not going to be editing it, it won't matter.
Alright, cool.
Sorry. 1 second, Redbeard. I'm just tightening my pop filter. Oh yeah, screw it in. Here we go. Screwing it in. Squeeze it in. Squeezing tighter. Good.
Okay. There, now we
Can
can...
you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Oh
you.
shit.
And
You can
chat,
hear me, but I
and
can't.
the stream should be able to hear you.
Oh, no.
Oh wait.
I can't hear chat.
Yay.
You guys are really quiet.
Are we?
Oh, no,
the
nice.
mic's a little bit further than normal.
We could turn up the
No,
gain on the
I can hear you now. You guys sound fine now.
Okay.
Okay. What do we think? Do I need to like? Do I sound?
Let me
further
just
than-
hear your voice next to ours for a second.
All right. I'm gonna read the opening story again,
Yeah,
just
that
for
would be-
giggles.
that would be a good
But
thing.
you want me to go and start with that now?
Should we talk over him to see how it sounds?
We're gonna do
I
it
could-
anyway.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Is that what you were asking for? Well, I guess maybe we're doing it right now. Keep talking, Joe.
For a long
Yeah,
time, we were at war with the Jackals. Now, finally, we've driven them off, and we're left with this. A year of relative peace. One quiet year with which to build our community up and learn again how to work together. Come winter, the Frost Shepherds will arrive, and we might not survive the encounter. This is when the game will end. But we don't know about that yet. What we know is that right now, in this moment, there is an opportunity to build something.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
I'm in the sandcastle.
yeah, we don't know what the Frost Shepherds are, what the Jackals are, and
Well, we get to define what those are, right?
well, kind of. We don't really get a chance to ever define what the Frost Shepherds are.
Oh yeah. 'Cause
Oh,
the game
we
just kinda ends.
can. We can. But we can't. But it'll be much. We'll be spending so much time establishing who we are that by the time we are starting to figure out what the Frost Shepherds are, generally we're like rushing to the end. So it's
something that
and
you could weave into the narrative as we go if we.
What
feel like
what we'll explain in just a moment is the limitations of how we can communicate with each other, because we can't talk unless it's our turn or unless we've been prompted to talk.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a big component of this. So, if someone else introduces something in the story and it's their turn, you can't be like, "Oh, that could tie into the Frost Shepherds." You have to wait for someone to take an action to hold a discussion. So, with that said, let's look at some rules. Let's look at some. All right, so here's what's going to happen. This game is divided up into weeks of a year. We have 1 year, one quiet year. The active player, however we determine who goes first, will draw a card and interpret it. There will be 2 prompts on it. He gets to choose one of the 2 prompts and follow all the instructions. On his turn, he can choose to discover something on the map and draw it on there. He can choose to hold a discussion to discuss something that we've said in game. Like, we need to know more about this crazy magic wizard who he said lives in the woods. You can do discussions in 2 different ways. You can either make a statement and then let everybody respond to it, or you can ask a question and everybody will answer the question, and then you get one more final statement based on what everybody answered. You can also choose to start a project on your turn. If we determine that wizard is evil and that our people need to go kill him, we might say, we're starting up a band to go murder that evil wizard in the woods. It'll take 3 weeks to gather up the militia and the proper training to fight a wizard. Or 2 weeks, or 1 week, however long you want the project to take. During every player's turn, every week, the projects that we've put down will tick down once per turn in between their card prompt and the action they choose. So card prompt, project dice go down, and then the active player takes an action of these actions. Oh wait, I didn't show you guys this. I should probably click that so you can see it. Yeah, that's that. Does that make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we each, are we each taking a turn in the same week, or is it like week 1, week 2, week 3?
So each turn is a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Each
Cardinal
player
spends a week, and then it's James's turn. James takes a week, then it's Redbeard takes a week.
Gotcha.
So each card we draw is a week, and the deck that we have, there's 4 decks: autumn, winter, spring, summer. Which actually, it's weird that they're not in the order they're supposed to be.
Don't we
Should
start with
begin with spring? Yeah, we start with spring, but for some reason autumn's on top. That seems strange to me. Yeah, so we start at spring and then we end in winter. And when the King of Spades is drawn, which actually in this, I don't think they actually have their. I don't know if they actually have the card that they're on there, but there's a card that says the Frost Shepherds arrive, and that's when the game just ends. We don't get any more turns or actions. Our projects that are out there don't end.
And it's
So we have
sometime
to hope-
during the winter, but otherwise could be the top card of the deck, could be the last one.
You might have a game that ends with a proper resolution. It might be a game that ends on an utter cliffhanger. You might end just wondering what it all means. But that's kind of the majesty of the game, is that every game ends feeling differently. Or if you want to call it a project, whatever you want to call it, artsy fartsy, explorative.
It's a game.
Yeah, more or less.
It has mechanics, I guess.
It's absolutely a game. It is 100% a game.
Let's see. Yeah, so if you were playing with, you could actually play this with playing cards, which is how I've normally played it, but same deal. There's a list of things that all refer to the cards. These cards actually have the prompts on them, which will be nice. Let's see here. What else do we need to show?
Otherwise,
Who
you take
are
the
we?
card and then refer
This is
to
a good
the
one.
table.
So I'll go ahead and read this real quick. We all have 2 roles to play in this game. The first is to represent the community at a bird's eye level and to care about its fate. The second is to dispassionately introduce dilemmas as scientists conducting an experiment. The Quiet Year asks us to move in and out of these two roles. We don't embody specific characters, although we probably will because that's the way we've often played the game, nor act out scenes. Instead, we represent the currents of thought within the community. When we speak or take action, we might be representing a single person or a great many. If we allow ourselves to care about the fate of these people, the Quiet Year becomes a richer experience and serves as a lens of understanding communities in conflict. We'll also be presented with opportunities to introduce new issues for the community to deal with. This will often happen when we draw cards or use the discover something new action by dispassionately introducing dilemmas and then returning to our role as the representatives of the community. We create tension and make the community's successes feel real. If there's an issue you struggle with in real life, like whether violence is ever justified, introduce situations that call it into question. Blah, 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 blah. All right, yeah. So yeah, that's who we are.
Are giants ever justified?
I think so.
Yeah,
think
probably.
giants are
I mean,
justified.
they might be.
What about
Giants
Grinklenull?
justified. Ringlenull is pretty justified, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I think Warglenaw is aligned left, but
So we will, before the game begins, we will establish some facts about the community. We'll begin with a brief discussion, taking like 2 minutes, about the general terrain. Did I click show? I don't know if I did. This can be as simple as someone saying, "How about a community in the Rocky Desert?" Or we could say fantasy, or we could say sci-fi, or whatever. We'll get there when we get. Let's not jump into anything right just yet. Let's not say bards just yet. When we introduce our details, we can sketch contributions to the map. So basically, what we'll probably do is
These sketches are going to be really rough using a trackball.
trackball.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't we have a title somewhere?
Not really. No.
it's going to be way easier to use the trackball on the couch anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We will also, after we've discussed a few ideas about what our region is, what our map area is, we're going to discuss some kind of important resource for the community. I think the best thing to do is to have each of us choose one and decide if it's like, if it's something we have an abundance of or a light amount of, a scarcity of rather. So we'll get to that in a minute, but that's something we'll be doing. These actually don't really have mechanical value. We have to interpret their value. Having an abundance or a scarcity of something is something we need to factor in when we're deciding what are the impacts of things that happen. In the cards, like how does it relate to our scarcities and our abundances? Those should kind of tie us down.
Abundance of bards.
Right. The basic unit of play in the Quiet Year is a week. Each week is a turn taken by a player. We already discussed all that. Yeah, we already discussed all this. Get out of here. I think that's almost everything we really need to know, to be honest.
I'm going to go and grab a keyboard because I realize we will need it for basic Roll20
Functions.
Yeah.
We'll need it for delete. Is there anything else we need it for?
Just switch to like circles and stuff like that. I think I have one right here now.
Yeah, so we can, while he's doing that, we can go ahead and get started on the discussion to try to figure out where
what we are.
he is. Yeah.
Where are we?
Because
Who are we?
I
Why
find it's
are
often easiest to start with a genre. And
Yeah, I
use that.
agree. You can be
So-
specific or broad. Does anybody have any preferences?
I want to do modern day, but with magic. I just kind of like
Urban
that.
fantasy.
Yeah, basically.
Urban fantasy. I actually don't think I've ever done an urban fantasy of this.
No, I'm pretty into urban fantasy. Do we want to do it as like a hidden world thing, where we're representing like the magical community that's secretly inside of?
Like a Fables-esque kind of thing?
Yeah. I was thinking
Fables,
like,
Harry Potter.
Yeah, I was
Dresden.
thinking. Yeah, I
That
was
could be
thinking of World of Darkness, but yeah, same deal.
So are human beings that are our Muggle equivalents, are they like prevalent in the world outside of us?
Yeah. I think they're.
We're just kind of we are a hidden society from them.
Yeah, like the Hellboy kind of thing where it's
Probably like
we're
what,
physically there, but
3-1 or something like
So
that.
maybe we should add a city real quick to the map, a kind of central city that is our I mean, maybe the city should be our
Maybe
kind
that'd
of
be
our
nice.
yeah,
major
that's
map.
what I was thinking. Was like the whole thing is the map, and maybe our center location is like
Okay.
the it's like the equivalent of the Goblin Market.
Oh, nice. Okay, let me see here.
I don't know what that is.
Lines.
It's essentially just magical black market.
Oh, okay, that's how that works.
From which?
Hellboy.
Okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
know
but speaking of
I've seen
Hellboy,
people
can we
look
just
at
talk
it.
for a minute about rated R Hellboy coming? I'm kind of stoked.
And they're using a different cast, right?
It is. It's a
directed?
reboot, but
Yeah.
look, Ron Perlman's old. He said he would die if he tried to do Hellboy again because he just can't make it through.
Yeah.
So accept it. The new Hellboy is going to be the sheriff from Stranger Things.
Oh, I love him.
He's great, and he's a really cool choice. So
Yeah.
I'm like way down with it.
Yeah. Anyway,
That building's too tall. Let's squat these buildings.
Sheriff from Stranger Things. I don't know who it is, so
Have you not watched Stranger Things, James?
no, I know. Blah blah blah.
it's a good series.
Certainly is a dude.
No, like he was one of my favorite characters from that series.
I never got to the point where he was relevant.
I love him from the beginning, but
He's just your kind of archetypical '80s like guy, you know.
Yeah.
Like he's got he's the diehard like.
he doesn't take any beef from anybody. He
Right,
plays by
yeah.
his own rules.
But then he like builds up sentiment, you know, in a typical '80s fashion. That show is great because it introduces '80s expectations, like this will happen the way it happened in the '80s, and then it subverts some of your expectations as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Stranger Things. Oh God. Anyways, ranting. I'm just putting some buildings down real quick. I'm not an expert at building cityscapes, but these are going to be some.
I want to draw one.
Oops. This
Do we
is
want-
some avant-garde art here.
Do we want to make the city just actual literal Atlanta?
But made of salt. Sorry.
That was a reference.
Yeah.
I had guessed that much.
There's a book series where the city of Atlanta is a moving city of salt.
Bizarre.
Superpowers were introduced to the world in a very drastic fashion.
I see.
And one
All
person
right.
thought it would be a good idea to make Atlanta a moving city of salt.
Well, let's discover what city it is. I think through the process of playing, rather than naming it. For now, let's keep it as an unnamed city. But we do need to come up with a few things. All right, so we got an urban setting. We know that there's some kind of supernatural magical element. Can we add on that? Does anybody have anything they want to add to that?
I mean, I think that honestly that's a good place to start. We have, like, the community that we're representing is a hidden magical community inside of a modern
Okay.
city.
All right, so
I
the
think
next
that's really
thing-
enough.
If that's good enough, and I think it might be,
Yeah.
let's each do one more thing here. So we've got a city landmark. We do want to add, each of us add one landmark to the map. That may or may not be important, but so we got city. I'm going to go ahead and add in. I think, let's see. What to add in here?
Where are you? Anything else?
I will add a representation of the subway for the city.
Ooh, a Subway. Eat fresh.
If
There's one Subway restaurant in this whole city. It's very important,
It's weird because usually there's like 3 on every street corner.
right? You've got to go to all of them to figure out which one has provolone. Because for some reason, every Subway has the same meats, but the veggies and the cheeses change.
Yeah. Well, the veggies are usually consistent.
They're mostly consistent, but I've seen some places that that had fresh jalapenos.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Um,
fresh jalapeno?
Yeah, fresh jalapenos. They almost all have pickled jalapenos, but I've seen some that had fresh jalapenos.
Ah.
I think provolone is a scarce commodity in this world.
If you declare it as one of the things, though, provolone is actually an important commodity then. Like not cheese, but provolone.
It's a
specifically.
component.
It's a reagent for most spells. I do want to throw in. I would like it possible for anyone to do magic. It's just a limited number of people know about it in the first place. I don't know if that's something.
We could add potentially. Yeah, I think that's actually really just fine as a thing we declare about the setting. Yeah, magic is an arcane knowledge, not a gift.
Good call.
Is there a way to make roll? Well, I mean, I guess we're streaming it, so we don't have to. Never mind.
Okay.
Ignore everything I was about to say.
All right, so this is the best I can do for Subway right now. There's this little gaping black hole here.
Okay.
I want to add in some.
Do you want to just like
It
put some
appears to
text
be-
that says Subway?
It appears to be a gaping black hole dripping blood.
It looks like a fist.
Yeah. Well,
If your
we
fist
can
is
interpret it as we
dripping
want.
blood, go see a doctor.
All right, anybody else
fucking
want to add a?
unclench.
Anybody else want to add a landmark here?
Anyone have an idea already?
Yeah, I'll do a thing.
The only idea I have is just like basically a black hole.
Oh god.
Mm.
That could be a thing.
All right.
Seems a little dangerous.
See.
But
Well,
maybe,
maybe
that's why
that's-
the
yeah.
magical community formed around it.
I kind of like that.
Need to draw a
You
shape.
could do that.
That's interesting.
This is
What
where
if,
all the
like-
druids live.
What if the black hole is like the source of our magic? It's or like these gateways. We can call them black holes or wormholes or whatever. These portals are tended by druids or keepers that are like, all right, we can't close these, but we also have to make sure they don't explode. But also, this is where magic comes from.
Oh, I was just talking about the green square is like where the druids live.
Oh,
Only
okay.
in the green
Like a park.
area.
This is a park, and what's unusual about this park is that it is perfectly square, and for some reason that's important.
Perfectly square.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know why, but
I like that it's
it is-
perfectly square. It's also like a top down. Like the rest of the buildings so far have been like skyline, but the park is just whatever.
No, whatever angle you view it from.
Well, it's always drawn top
That
down
would
on
make it a
maps
circle.
because for some reason the fact that it's perfectly square is important. I don't know why.
Okay. I
Well,
can
I'm
live
sure
with
we'll get to that, but it's a perfectly square park, and for some
that.
reason
Anybody
it's,
else
always,
want to add?
it's always referred to as perfectly square
That's what I'm working on now.
because that's somehow important.
Fucking trackballs.
Sounded
How
really
do I do
aggressive.
circles?
Hold Alt for a circle.
Thanks.
So first click the draw shape, and then while you're dragging, or before you click to drag.
Yeah, and if you want, yeah, alt.
Oh, yeah.
Well, did it go away?
The keys are in weird places because it's a Mac keyboard.
Alt. Shift. Oh wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
there you go. You got it.
Yeah, I made a mistake though. Control Z.
Were you? What?
I want to delete that. That's a mistake.
What mistake did you make?
Well, I didn't want it to snap to the grid like that. For one, and also
Alright.
I wanted it to be.
You can.
I wanted it to be spooky purple.
Okay.
Is that spooky purple? No,
That's the outline though.
That's lilac.
Either way, that's the outline.
Yeah.
The one next to it is the actual
Fill.
fill.
Yeah, or the one left.
Spooky purple? No.
That's definitely brown.
It's hard to see colors here. Spooky purple?
No, that's the one to the no right of that. No, not that far right. That one.
That's
the
the
red-
brown.
Yeah.
Is that brown?
Yes.
That's the one I
Definitely
clicked on
It's very
first.
clearly brown.
Okay.
That's not quite spooky purple, but we're getting there.
Oh my god, they're all spooky-ish.
That one's
purple.
pretty spooky.
Wait, what about this one?
That one's pretty spooky.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
Totally not just trying to get you to finish.
Spooky purple. Oops.
Oh, God.
No!
I think it's Command Z to undo.
Command Z? Well,
There
no.
definitely is an undo button.
I mean, Command Z is the typical undo on Macs. I don't know.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, I don't know how it maps these keys to
to roll 20?
So
Well, to Windows.
it's just like
If command is control, or if control is control.
it's not like a black hole in that it like sucks things in. It's just kind of like a orb, and like anything that goes in it or like anything that touches it stops existing.
It's an orb of annihilation.
Basically,
How big is it?
like 5 feet across.
Okay.
That's pretty big.
Is it this pink dot?
It's that pink dot.
Oh, is it like underground?
that is like the room it is in, or like they house it in a building, but the orb itself is about 5 feet across. Also, if you're basically inside the building, magic doesn't work, and maybe it's the building, maybe it's the orb. I don't really know.
So the
The building and orb have been around for ever.
So what I was mentioning earlier about small changes is we're going to make a lot of decisions in this game. Like there's a whole deck of 52 cards. So we typically want each individual thing that we do to be really small. Like we don't want to be declaring a lot of things about the setting each time we're
Want to let
doing
it
something,
snowball
or it's
rather
going
than
to
try
get
to like.
absolutely crazy.
Okay, so
And,
then I
like-
guess we just stick with things that touch it disappear if there is a building around it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you can't have that whole thing. I'm just saying that in my experience playing this game, it's at its best when each time we do something, we make a small tweak. Or we will declare things that are seemingly unimportant and somebody else can make them important later.
All right.
Redbeard.
Well, that sounds great. So
Yeah.
we got the perfectly square park. We got the subway. We got this orb.
Yeah.
Redbeard, you got anything for us?
We don't have an office building.
We don't have ley lines. I think we have. I think a ley line would interact weird though.
I mean, maybe. It depends on what interpretation of ley lines we're using.
I don't know.
I'm going to add.
Was it Momo or AWA? It was AWA. Because I remember her complaining about that too.
My favorite thing about ley lines is that somebody mapped out a bunch of strange geometric shapes and was going around explaining that they were ley lines, and then revealed that all of the points that he used were locations of Marks and Spencer shops in the UK.
There's a pyramid. You always gotta have a pyramid.
Oh, there's just a pyramid somewhere in the city?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is it like Egyptian style, or is it like a glass pyramid, like the one in Paris, or?
No, I was imagining more Egyptian style, very, very old, very.
Oh, so
That-
this is
that
like straight
raises
up
a
an
lot of
ancient stone pyramid.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, neat.
So maybe this isn't Atlanta.
Probably
We'll find
not.
out.
It's Maglanta.
But I like the idea of just like old ruins in the middle of the city.
Maybe we
I mean,
have
that
an
happens.
abundance.
It happens in
Maybe
Greece
we
all
have
the
an
time.
abundance of ancient artifacts.
Yeah, I mean,
Are
it-
we museum?
it's not that
Tokyo?
unusual in certain parts of the world to have ancient ruins. I mean, like Athens is 100% a modern city, but the Acropolis is just like dead in the middle of the city.
Right. So maybe whatever the city is, it was built on top of a lot of ancient stuff.
Right. Or maybe it's just been around that long, and it's been modernized because there are still people living in it.
Well, I think I am going to go ahead and declare that as my abundance. We have an abundance. I'll go ahead and type this out somewhere. Ancient.
Does each
history.
person do one abundant and two not
Each
abundant?
person picks one thing and then says we either have an abundance of it or a scarcity of it.
I thought it said only one thing could be abundant.
No. We can have. I'll pull it up real quick just to double check. Starting resources. Now each declare an important resource for the community, something which we might either have in abundance or scarcity.
Yeah, so you each declare a
Oh,
resource.
it does say
We
as a
now
group we
choose
now choose
one.
one of those resources. Oh, okay. So
we
actually,
each pick a
here's
resource and then we pick an
the-
important one. Or abundant.
yeah, but we each pick a resource, and then we'll, as a group, decide one in abundance, and I think
Everything else is
the other
scarce.
resources, other resources are scarce. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just go ahead and name ancient history as my resource then.
But the resources are for some reason important. Whoever declares a resource is somehow important. Whether we have a lot of it or we have a little of it, it's important.
I kind of want to partially, what's the word? Inspired by our Seafall game.
Can we make ancient history ancient artifacts just so that we're dealing with
Things.
physical objects as all of our
Yeah.
resources?
Absolutely.
Um,
I have to just erase it.
living space. Like
okay.
habitable space.
Okay,
I don't want to cosplay a character I don't want.
that's neat.
Is it Ibble?
Habitable.
Habit able because you were able to habit it.
Nah, not you. Sure. You want
Doesn't stop other words from being weird.
I hate
Cool. Ancient
Forgot how to make it not
spice
snap.
facts.
It's all about that
Alright.
snap.
How do you turn off snap to grid?
Why don't we just type it under ancient artifacts?
I think you hold shift, or don't hold shift, or
Unhold shift. You gotta take shift
Oh.
off of your keyboard.
It's Alt. If you hold down Alt, it'll just.
Good enough.
So one more. I think Carter's the one.
Yeah, I feel like I feel an obligation because we have ancient artifacts, spice, and habitable space. I feel almost an obligation to name something ridiculous.
just that doesn't have any meaning yet.
Oh well,
Sand.
that doesn't have habitable spice. That doesn't have any meaning, and that's completely silly. Like something like processed chicken,
Uh-huh.
right? Like something ridiculous.
Provolone
Mechanically
cheese.
separated.
Provolone cheese, yeah.
Whoops. I made that a joke.
Let's. I don't think I'm going to go with provolone cheese though.
Sand. There's just not enough sand.
I just wanted to bring that up more.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
Okay. I'm going to go. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go with gorgonzola because it's still a specific type of cheese and it's fun to say.
I'll just
You-
guess it on the spelling here.
Nope. You know what? That's perfect.
Gorgonzola.
I feel like instead you should just have the ability to spell.
It sounds like the villain of like a kids show. Oh no, it's Gorgonzola!
Wasn't that the villain in one of the seasons of Power Rangers? Gorgonzola. She lived on the moon. It was made of cheese.
Okay, now I'm self-conscious
I don't
looking up how
think
to
so.
spell it.
I think it's just an O instead of an A. The first one. not the-
Gorgonzola.
Oh god, that'd be terrifying. Like a giant Godzilla, but when they look at you, you turn to stone.
Oh, I was just thinking made of cheese.
And it's made of cheese.
Because, I mean, honestly...
Oh, when they look at you, you turn into cheese.
Yeah, that's
right.
good. I think
So
I would be
since-
less afraid of the Godzilla that turns me into stone when it looks at me, because it's like, now I'm going to die instantaneously rather than being crushed to death.
So once more, now that we have the actual idea of what it is, I'm going to read the story one more time. Now we have it in context of our setting. For a long time, we were at war with the jackals. Now, finally, we've driven them off, and we're left with this: a year of relative peace. One quiet year. with which to build our community up and learn again how to work together. Come winter, the Frost Shepherds will arrive, and we might not survive the encounter. This is when the game will end. But we don't know about that yet. What we know is that right now, in this moment, there is an opportunity to build something.
Okay.
And
I
so
kinda
with
like
that in
these
mind...
unintentional like Egyptian undertones that are kind of popping up, like the jackals, the pyramid, ancient artifacts.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Spice.
So, with that in mind, who wants to go first?
Well, we need to pick one of them to be abundant and the rest to not.
Oh, you're right. Anybody have any preference?
Do we have an abundance of Gorgonzola?
I want a scarcity of Gorgonzola.
I mean, we already kind of stated it that the ancient artifacts are in abundance because we have like.
That was
all
my
this space.
suggestion. I think it makes sense overall, but
It could be that we have a scarcity of them because this was once a large nexus of them.
Yeah.
But then
they've been
the
traded out, maybe.
Right, and remember that we're representing the magical community, so maybe we have a scarcity of ancient artifacts because they're all locked up in the human museums.
I kind of like the idea of spice being in abundance here, but very valuable elsewhere. So it's kind of a bargaining chip.
Are we talking about spice as in like spices or spice as in like
Don't know yet.
drugs?
Don't know yet.
Like I wasn't imagining like some sort
Like,
of
must it flow, or...
I was imagining some sort of magical fuel, but you know, it could be anything really.
You were imagining a magical fuel?
I was,
Okay, cool.
but it could be.
It could be just. It could be.
We do
carbon.
have... Here's an alternative. We could roll a 1d4.
I would. I specifically would rather have a scarcity of Gorgonzola.
So a D3?
Okay. We could roll a d3.
Sure.
I personally,
I'm down with
if
that.
we
I'd
are,
be really
if we are
intrigued
listing
if
our
it-
purposes, I'm interested in either an abundance of artifacts or spice with
Yeah.
habitable. I think habitable space makes a more interesting scarcity.
That would be
and it
really
means for us
interesting.
as a community, we're running out of places to be our magical selves, right?
Yeah, and again,
That's-
that makes sense.
Well,
That's kind of what I was
the flip
imagining.
side of that is if we have an abundance of habitable space, that means that people are leaving or dying or, you know, something
True.
along those lines. So let's do a 1d3 and just see
All right.
where it lands.
/ roll 1d3. 1 being artifacts, 3 being habitable space. It's a 1,
Artifacts.
so
All right,
We
Looks like
have,
we're gonna have
so
each
many
artifact and a-
artifacts.
cool.
I have an idea for what I want to do with habitable space, anyways. Being scarce.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're probably all going to interact with these at some point. It partly depends on what cards we draw.
all right, I'm gonna set this right up here. And all right, so is it now who wants to go first?
I think that either me or Joe should go first because on the capture we are the far right and far left.
Oh, yeah,
so
that
that way
makes
we
sense,
can
okay.
just go straight across.
Who's far right? Who's far left? My face is
You're-
covering up.
you're far
for you,
left.
so- Oh, I see. Actually, on the capture.
Yeah.
Let's go right to left, partially because I want you guys to get more time before. I've played this game so much. I want you guys to be the ones to make the impacting opening statements.
Cool.
So, Carter, I'm gonna shuffle up the spring deck. Do you want me to go ahead and draw this out, drag this out for you since I've easily got a mouse available?
Sure. Yes.
All right. And let's see, is that too small for you to read?
Yes. Can I?
Oh, whoops. Hold on.
No, I cannot.
Oh,
We can
that's close.
make it bigger.
We have the technology.
There we go. Yeah, that's good. No, maybe one more.
Yes, bigger.
Make it a little bit bigger.
Bigger. I need it larger.
Yeah,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's nice.
All right, we
Okay.
got the 6 of spring. This is good. This is perfect, actually, because I can move this out of the way. 6 of spring. Are there children in the community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Or, and so I can pick either one of these. How old are the eldest members of the community, and what special needs do they have? So I pick either children or the elderly, and then I answer these questions.
And update the map as necessary.
Right.
Yeah, that will come in the actions.
And so, we could obviously talk about meta stuff and life and games and the rules. We can't talk about any of the actual material of our setting. Like, we can't discuss if Carter says something in a minute. We can't respond to that except in a method about it, like
We can't
putting
make
it on the map or
decisions.
something. Right. Now, I do want to say this, just so James and Redbeard know a little bit better. The kind of structure of this, spring is very much our, like, it'll help us build up knowledge about it. It'll be very general, like, what's your community like? And then it'll get progressively more conflict-oriented as we go. But yeah, that's my last aside there. Go ahead, Carter, take it away.
Okay. I'm going to try to keep it simple for the first ones. So I'm going to say that the eldest members of our community are just vaguely hundreds of years old, and their special needs are that they have a very hard time interacting with the human world because they are so old. Like, they just remember so much. They have a hard time interacting with people who haven't been around that long. Okay, and then
Project Dice Tick Down.
Project Dice Tick Down, but there aren't any yet.
You can add something to represent the old people to the map if you'd like, or you can just denote one of these buildings or something. You can do whatever you'd like there.
I'll just
in the second half of your turn.
I'll just write out that the oldest members of the community are hundreds of years old.
110s.
Yep, that's definitely the exact thing I'd need to type. And then I can start a project, discover something new, or what was the other one?
Hold a discussion.
That's right, hold a discussion. There's nothing to discuss yet, so...
I do want to say, I can hear, I think maybe it's Avani in the background very clearly. Is there a door that could be closed, or?
You don't have a door.
Yeah, there's not actually a door there.
Oh, well, that's all right.
We can maybe try shifting the mic around.
Maybe.
It might help. It might not, but it might help. Moving closer and tilting it, maybe? Like, moving further to the right. Maybe. Is it tilted like that? Might help.
We'll see. Hopefully.
Yeah. I doubt I'll become too quiet, so.
I was like, I could go into the foam squares, but they're way over there, or whatever.
Because no one can see it. Redbeard is like, hey, look, a pillow. I'll just put this here. This will help.
It might do a non-zero amount.
Look, he kept the dog out. Damn it.
Look, I have a bone. I have a bone. I have a bone. Okay.
I'm going to start a project, and that project is mapping the external dimensions of the pyramid. And that's going to take 4 weeks. Can I not grab these?
You might not be able to, because I think you have to. I did make you a DM, but I think you might have to log in and out to actually make that work. So, what I will do. How many weeks do you want it to do?
4. Actually, 4 would make it. Hold on. 4 would make it 3, 2, 1. No, 4 would make it come back to me. Put it on
5, 6.
Well,
put it on 5.
So you will be the one who decides the fate of it, no matter what. It'll just be on someone else's turn that it goes off if it's not a 4.
Yeah.
All right. So 5 weeks for that, and whatever that means. Next up is James drawing a card.
Do you want to?
Gonna make this card so big.
You put it on.
Oh yeah. I'll just.
We can probably remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what we usually do. So I think we'll be all right.
Okay.
Are there distinct family units in the community? No, not really. Family is just kind of, because people are around so long, people just kind of like might communally raise a kid, or like the family structures don't stick around too long. People tend to be more loyal to those, more loyal and like around people they trust. more than blood relationships, I guess.
So it's I can't say anything. Oh, it's so hard not to talk.
Right?
Mhm.
I have so many questions I want to ask to elaborate on, but
Okay.
Or just definitional things,
yeah.
and then you can.
But just
start a project.
to clarify, so you're saying that we don't have family structures. We do have like a scattered structure. It's a loose structure. Like it's just whoever takes responsibility kind of thing.
Yeah, just whoever feels that they have responsibility takes responsibility, and
if no one does,
Yeah,
Well, that's
clarification
what-
is fine, but elaboration is where we have to draw the line.
Yeah.
So Carter's die will tick down, and now you get to start a project, hold a discussion, or discover something new.
Did I structure? Is that enough, or should I write more?
That's fine.
Okay. I would like to start a project. I would like to excavate or begin surveying for excavation for more living space down. And it will
Okay.
take 6 weeks.
and you're just surveying.
Yeah.
You aren't actually digging.
No, just looking for a site.
Okay. So we need a 6 somewhere on the map to represent surveying to dig.
Is there a place you'd like to put that? Maybe you should.
It's,
Would you like to
it's-
actually like create it? Oh, go ahead.
It's
Maybe
the whole city.
Okay.
It's just surveying the city for sites that are more structurally sound.
Okay. So you're trying to find a site to dig.
Right.
Okay.
So, does this not include actual digging then?
No, not yet.
Okay. I'll just leave it up here then, near the perfectly square park.
Maybe the perfectly square park is the best place. I don't know.
And next up is Redbeard.
Alright.
Ooh, Redbeard's got the 9.
A charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect.
Yeah, and that's in bold, so you do that as part of the card.
Or, a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond?
I'd like to take a moment just to point out this is one of my favorite cards in this game.
Yeah, this is kind of fun. Because it introduces a character, which is something we don't have, and has the. If I do the first option, then it also starts a project.
Yeah, and I love that it's the same thing. It's potentially the same thing,
Yeah.
just from different perspectives.
I kind of wish the second one also had the project, but.
I think the general idea there, the projects are supposed to be intended to be helpful, right? So
yeah,
they can
that makes
fail.
sense.
A project can have bad results, but the
Mhm.
intention of a project should always be, this is a community project. They're aiming to do something that is ideally helpful.
I don't know if I want to do that. It's kind of tropey.
I think tropes are a fine place to start potentially for like building
my
blocks.
first thought is like the somebody is convincing others that they need to drive the normal humans out of the city so that it's a magic only city.
Hmm.
But I feel like that's done, it's like the driving story behind every urban fantasy setting, I feel.
I have an idea, but I can't say.
There's a dog.
Hi, come here. No, don't.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say don't encourage her.
No.
Oh, she's
Let's
a
take
good.
her collar off, though.
That dog is a charismatic young girl.
She is. How about there's a archaeologist who is getting together a band of people to go and she's heard about a ruin nearby that has some relic that might have some potentially magical relics in it. And she is getting a group of people together to go and
I'm trying to
explore
also
that.
get my headphone in. It's a mess. There.
So I don't know if I didn't hear what you were saying, but
God damn it! Stupid dog. Did anybody hear me?
I heard she's looking for artifacts and is trying to set up an excavation to find them.
Okay.
Or she knows where they are.
she's starting a project then?
Yeah. There's an archaeologist who's getting together a group of people to go and explore and uncover potentially magical artifacts in a nearby ruin.
What's wrong with you?
And would you like to add a ruin to the map somewhere, and then we can drop a project on it?
Oh yeah, let's do that.
And how long is this project going to take?
I'll say 5 weeks.
So would that be also your action to discover something new?
No. We can always mark something down on the map if as part of the card. Discover something new just allows us to add a thing if we feel like we need more things on the map to interact with.
Can I scale this after placing it? I guess not. Well,
What are you trying to do?
I was trying to make it not as large.
So,
but whatever.
For instance, this says, if a card asks you a question, think about whether or not your answer could be represented on the map somehow. If it fits, update the map to reflect this new information.
Yeah.
For example, if the card asks you about sleeping quarters in the community, we might end up drawing a row of tents near the edge of a forest, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Bye, dog.
I drew a square.
Oh, boy. Perfectly square ruins.
Oh.
There's something very geometric about this world.
I can't really get more elaborate than that. I can try.
Oh man, we should have had geometry as one of our resources. Abundance of.
Well, we did have a perfectly square park and a pyramid. We also have a
Go ahead and stick it
sphere.
down.
You made a perfect sphere.
What?
Jay made a perfect sphere. You made a pyramid. I made a perfectly square park.
Oh wow.
We picked
I didn't even think of
geometric
that.
shapes.
We are geometry. This is geometry land.
All right, so Redbeard, you can start your thing whenever. It'll start off as 5, but it's going to go down to 4 this turn. So once you're
guess
done, we
it's
can drag
up
this
there
4 up here to wherever. But do you know if you want to hold a discussion or discuss something new or start a project?
Oh, do I still get that option?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what we were just discussing.
What is discover something new?
Mark a new location on the map, basically.
Okay. You can choose whether a question or a discussion is starting with you. Don't contact areas of audience, right? If you open the question.
Yeah. Holding a discussion is the only way in which we are allowed to talk about things in the setting with each other.
Okay. How about a discussion on the relations between magicals and non-magicals within the city?
Okay.
So the question is, what's the relationship? I think the Muggles just don't know about the.
Well, I guess that's another question: is what are they called? Are we just gonna call them Muggles or nomads?
We should.
I was just calling them Muggles until we had a term for them.
Oh, can that be part of this discussion?
Sure.
What is our relationship with them, and what do we call them?
Yeah, I'd say
Seems fine to me.
legally enough to do.
I think they're called mortals.
Oh, it was mine. I forgot the.
Well, so we do go in order here. We each get 2 or 3 sentences, and it'll go in turn order. So I think I'm first up, actually, right? All right.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. I think it's known that our relationship with the mortals is hostile, at least in regards to them taking away our culture and our living space. We've had to sell our best resources to them, our spice to survive, and as a result, there are those among us, including myself as a member of the community, that refer to them as try to think of something that's like drainy, something that's like a parasitic almost.
It's not like a leech or a tick.
Yeah, although I do like leeches actually. I think that'll be that's gonna be the derogatory term that this character that I'm representing right now. Some of them call them leeches.
Okay.
Next up is Carter.
I think that the jackals were a faction of humans, or a faction of mortals, and this has fed into a lot of hostility. Some members of the community think that the other mortals should be given more of a chance. Some people are less trusting.
I wanted to say something along the lines of it's actually impossible to tell mortals how to do magic. Like, they can learn it on their own, but, like, part of the process of being able to do magic is this weird inhibition to show other people how to do it.
Kind of like the druid language in D&D.
Well,
you can't teach other people.
That's a choice, though, because you could technically do it,
but you lose all your druid power.
It's not like there are immortals, for lack of a better term, who would love to teach mortals how to do magic, because magic is a powerful tool, and honestly, it's probably why the jackals attacked us in the first place. But we can't. It's actually impossible. The ability to convey that information directly is lost the moment you learn how to do magic.
And so the mortals that know about us are really bitter and angry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa! We're getting a little disgusty here, guys. I
think that is why the jackals attacked us in the first place.
Okay, I think that's fair. And back to Redbeard, you asked a question, so you can make a final statement if you'd like.
Okay. So, I just want to make sure I understood everything people said so far. So the mortals or leeches have the ability to learn magic, but it cannot be taught. And at some point there was a war where they attacked the magical community, and that was the jackals. Is that
the intro thing was we've been at war with the jackals.
Yeah. But we're establishing that was a group of non-magicals
right
attacking. Okay.
Because they were jealous of our magic.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think I have
anything
to
to
add. But...
Sweet. So I think that brings it to my turn. I'll go ahead and draw a card for myself. I'll blow it up just for you guys.
Oh, thanks.
What important and basic tools does the community lack? Or where are you storing your food? And why is this a risky place to store things? I think I'm actually going to go with the second one. I'm going to build into this Gorgonzola here a little bit. A part of our issue after the aftermath of being hunted and battling with the jackals is that we've become overwhelmed by arcane miscreants who have come in and begun plundering our supplies. There are gremlins who constantly steal our food. Now we in order to preserve our food, we've kept it in extraplanar cellars, basically. They're doorways that we have that go to them, but these gremlins can slip into our extraplanar dimensions, and they've been eating our gorgonzola pretty consistently. So I will go ahead and mark down an interdimensional pocket somewhere on the map.
So for clarity, we store our food as a community. We generally store our food in a collective extra-dimensional pocket, and it's a risky place to store things because gremlins can get into extra-dimensional pockets very easily.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
And I think we did hold a discussion.
Oh man, I just thought of something based on the discussion that I said.
I'm going to discover something new on the map. I'm gonna be drawing two things while you guys are doing your turn. I'm gonna draw our interdimensional food storage somewhere, but I'm also going to draw. I'm discovering a church of the jackal somewhere in the north of the city. The jackals had been an organized, subgroup of humans before, but now they seem to have been growing their hatred or their malevolence or whatever it is they feel towards us into some kind of organized cult. And there are rumors of not an outward church, but there's a building somewhere up north where it's rumored that they gather and an almost cult-like following.
I can do it.
Okay, so that would put it to my turn.
Indeed it does. So let me go ahead and grab you a thing. Phew. Oh, wait, there it goes.
All right. 3 of spring. Someone new arrives. Who? Or 2 of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? Intriguing. I don't really want to put someone new in, so I'm going to go for 2 of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them? 2 of the community's younger members got into a fight because one of them accused the other of being a jackal spy.
Ooh, I like that.
And then, do I want to start a project?
I can take this up now.
Yeah, I think I want to start a project. The project is going to be in response to this is part of a larger trend of increasing paranoia about the jackals, because a lot of members of the community see the mortals, the leeches, as effectively all being responsible for the jackal threat, and so living under their feet, a lot of people are beginning to get really paranoid about the jackals. And so the community response is that because we've heard of the rumor of this Church of the Jackal where they're supposed to meet, we're going to send a group of trusted members of the community out to scout the church. But first everything should tick down,
Sure.
I believe.
Yeah, because the pyramid should be coming up on my turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2, 1, 4, 3, 3, 2, and proceed.
Okay. And scouting the Church of the Jackal shouldn't take too long, but so that I'm not doing two things on the same turn, I'm going to say it's going to take 2 weeks.
And I guess that brings us next turn. Now we're starting to move on through.
I think everything ticks down now, right?
Well, first you do your card. then
You have to do your
everything
card
takes
first, yeah.
Oh, okay. A young boy starts digging in the ground. Wow. Discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he
I like this
done?
card.
This is also another card that I really love because it tells us, using both sides of it tells a very interesting story within itself.
The character you were being earlier, did he have a name? Or was he just old curmudgeon?
I don't think we had a name. I had archaeologist girl marked down, but do we have another character that I missed?
The one you were acting as.
You were acting as a...
I didn't give him a name. I was just picking up a random. But I'll go ahead and add him in. Disgruntled magic fellow. We can give him a name now if you'd like.
No, it's just that same guy.
Okay.
This old man has confessed to personally destroying artifacts, which is the only way anyone can get the ability to use magic in the first place. So he was, to spite the leeches, deliberately removing access to magic.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. So the artifacts give people access to magic.
Interesting.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What are you taking that up? That seems good.
Well, we've got to take down and then you got to take your action. But first, we take down...
And
So pyramid measurement, what is the result of that?
It's big.
The result of the pyramid measurement is that it is not only exactly perfect in its dimensions, but the base is precisely the same size as the perfectly square park.
Nice.
They're in different parts of town, but the base of the pyramid and the perfectly square park are exactly the same dimensions. And the pyramid
I'm terribly curious to know how this becomes relevant.
Perfect. I've been listening to Welcome to Night Vale
Okay.
lately. That's what this is all about, I'm going to be honest.
That may have inspired the
Underground
pyramid
food
for me.
portal. Okay.
I take on the other projects. Now Carter, or I'm sorry, James. This is James's turn.
I like when two of Joe's things are a subway and an underground food portal. Which is really why I want to start calling Subway restaurants now.
Hey, you want to go over to Underground Food Portal? I only got like 10 minutes for lunch. And...
Oh, hey, that's helpful. I would like to hold a discussion. But first, can I ask a question? Just to get clarified on what this project is?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't... I guess...
Which...
That's the archaeological excavation. The building is a...
Cylinder?
seamless tower.
Excellent.
And it was for artifacts, right? Is that what you said?
Uh-huh. Or there were rumors that there are artifacts within this room.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we going to do with these artifacts once we find them?
So, just what does the community want to do with the artifacts? What's the intention?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, turn order, that would make it Chris to discuss first.
So, we've been just kind of generally saying artifacts, and I feel like we need to have some more definition on that. I'm imagining, like, for those of you who've read Wheel of Time, there's just general wondrous items that no one really knows what they do because they're so old. And that's kind of what I'm imagining. There's like, there's a portal that goes to another dimension, or this
The
thing
one thing that
makes things hot, or
the one thing that we do know about artifacts right now is that they somehow allow mortals access to magic.
right. So your question was, what do we do with these artifacts when we find them?
Mhm.
Yeah.
These ones in particular.
These ones in particular. The group of archaeologists that was set out by Dr. Meredith, I'm going to go ahead and name her.
Cool.
All right.
Is part of a group that believes that mortals should have more access to magic,
What
and
happened?
thus are trying to find more
It's already on there.
find more artifacts that can help the general public join their community.
Okay, that puts it to Joe.
Okay. And the question was, what do we do with the artifacts when we find them, right?
Yeah.
I think we have to also have our arcanists define what their abilities are, and we need to determine if they are connected to forbidden magics. There's a reason our society is hidden the way we are, the dangers that we present, even though we like to tout potentially sharing magic. Artifacts cannot be taken lightly, and so we catalog them by their dangerous qualities.
And because of this, because of the dangers, I'm guessing you're done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because of the dangers of artifacts, and some artifacts will allow mortals to do magic and allow them to join the magical community, but they could be they could literally become angels or demons. So there is a split amongst the group of archaeologists who all want to bring these artifacts to the non-magical community, between the people who want them to be carefully maintained and only the few safest artifacts to be let loose, and those who want to essentially release the artifacts free range, because that is the way that this magic is meant to occur. That's why we have dangerous people now.
I mean, the reason the jackals have attacked us in the first place is because they think that we're simply hoarding artifacts like this. Maybe it makes a good peace offering. They're so nearby anyway, or they have a hold so nearby anyways. Perhaps this is a way we can show them that it's dangerous, but that we're not willing to just hold on to it for the sake of holding on to it. Okay, that's the discussion.
Alright, so that puts it to
Good.
Chris's turn. And we get a card.
Enhance. There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what? And the disquieting legend is kind of obvious. Like, for those that don't... Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get into that or go with the second one.
I feel like that's just a saying in town is, well, let's address the obliterating sphere in the room.
Right. Like, I feel like the first question is already answered. Like, even to the non-magical community, there's,
An obliterating sphere.
among other things. So I don't know that there's much to add there. Alarming weather pattern destroys something.
Are you
Ooh! I got a great idea.
Okay, you're going with that one? Alright, I don't want to say anything before you chose, but the alarming weather patterns I love a lot.
Is it? No, there's not a way to freely erase. So
Yeah, there is. If you freehand, I think one of the buttons is erase. No, maybe not.
But you could also highlight if you grab the cursor
Well, I
and
didn't
then
want
just
to.
drag everything.
I didn't want to erase the entire picture. I wasn't sure if there was a way to partially.
Which thing do you need to erase?
Oh, I think I know what you're going to do. Oh, that's horrible.
Just little lines.
So
I think if you just like draw a circle over it, I think that
Sure.
would be the best thing.
A meteor, let's say, comes through and lands in the center of or not the center, off to the side of the perfectly square park, and an area of it. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. An area of it is burned.
Yeah, you also need to do the fill as the second thing.
Okay. A small area is burned, and it is reflected in the pyramid. A small area of the same size also vanishes, and there's a hole in the side of the pyramid.
I love the interpretation of a meteor as a weather pattern. I know, I'm counting it because I love it.
Meteorology.
I can do.
Putting the meteors in meteorology.
I was
about,
thinking like a hailstorm or tornado, and that would actually really cause that much destruction. Oh yeah, sure. That works.
You just paint over with white, basically.
Yeah. And then we have a tick down with 2 projects finishing.
Yeah. The archaeology
So-
was your project, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you put that one on first, so you go.
Okay, so how exactly, what are the restrictions of this resolution?
So it's up to you to determine. You can kind of. You don't want to create an essay off of this, but just resolve the idea, and you can leave it open-ended. You can give a solid conclusion. You can make it detrimental. You can make it positive. It's up to you. Right now is definitely a time to kind of try to create conflict and progress.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we're pretty open in how we do things at the moment.
So the team sets out, and they had more than just rumors. They had a couple leads, including obviously this tower has been here for forever, as long as anyone can remember, but no one has been able to interpret anything about it or find a way in. But recently, Dr. Meredith had found what she believed to be a key that would allow access into the tower. And upon arriving and investigating, after some time, they were able to activate the key, which was an artifact in itself, and were able to open a doorway into the tower, wherein they found many items that they are fairly certain are magical in nature, but are unaware of their exact uses or what powers they might have, and decide to bring them back to town for further study.
All right, and the Church of the Jackal?
So part of the reason why we were able to locate this building is because of the enormous amount of electrical power that it's pulling off of the grid. It's just far more than any of the other buildings around it. Despite being one of the smaller buildings in town, it has almost double the electrical requirements of even the largest office buildings. And after having a few members of our community able to scout it out, we find out why. And the reason why is because of the rows upon rows upon rows of computers filling almost the entire space. There are hallways essentially cleared out between the computers, lined with monitors and keyboards. And the members of the community seem to ritualistically maintain these computers and are doing something with them.
Okay, so just a quick recap. They saw inside. There's a lot of presumably jackals there, doing something on computer, monitoring something, or programming something, or they're
doing something with a lot of computers, more computers than anywhere else in the city.
Interesting.
They seem to be networked together into one giant super brain, but we didn't send computer experts because why would we? Also, we don't have any. Yeah.
All right, and that'll bring it to my turn then, if we're good. Oh wait, no, that was projects. So Redbeard, sorry, second half of your turn. Or final third, rather.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just start a project on researching the recovered artifacts.
Okay. Where would you like to put that?
Ooh.
And how long will it take?
We need like a university or something, I guess. Am I able to add that?
Miskatonic.
That could be a discover a play. Yeah, discover something new.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily that it's new to them, it's just new to us.
Right. But I can't start the project at the same time.
No, but we have the artifacts and somebody else can start the project.
How many weeks did you say?
Well, I can't. I need to discover something new first.
Oh.
I need to discover a university.
Okay, I see. Okay, that works.
Miscellaneous universities.
You're not allowed to suggest things.
Sorry, it was.
And I like that.
I said
do that idea.
Miskatonic, but that's the name of the university.
No, I was making a joke off of that.
Yeah.
The University of the Magical and the Mysterious.
These wizards sure are pretentious.
Wizards and angels and gremlins, apparently.
Are you just labeling that building?
Yeah.
I like it.
We've named at least angels, demons, and gremlins as things. We haven't been clear on what those are, but...
Oh, shit.
It's a spring jay.
You see a good omen. What is it? You see a bad omen. What is it? Ooh. Oh god, this is such a hard one. There's so many potentials, so many options. Okay. All right, let's just go over everything that we've been discussing here. We've been recovering some artifacts. A meteor struck the perfectly square park and affected the pyramid, which is almost an omen. At least it's ominous. The Church of the Jackal is also pretty ominous right now.
But we've seen a specific omen now.
Yes. I think the things that we've seen have been ominous, but not omen-like, not prophetic necessarily. The perfectly square park and the pyramid come close, but they almost seem more concrete than.
No, it's made of granite.
I didn't. Never mind. I didn't get it.
Joe said it seems more concrete.
Got it. I see now. I'm just gonna go die over there.
We are all going to die. In turn order. Chris, you're next.
Alright.
All right, so I'm going to go off a little bit of a theme that we have going on here, a little bit of kind of symmetrical. I'm going to say that the elders of our society, the kind of the chief council, I want a good name for them, but I don't have it right now. Each of them see in passing their doppelganger in the city. And knowing that when more than one see, and what the doppelganger is, I'm not going to say, whether it's an actual thing or just a kind of a phantom, I just want to say that they see their doppelganger in the city, and now that they all know that each other has seen their doppelganger, it is an omen that something bad is coming. That the balance is about to shift. This represents the duality of society, the duality of the world, and things are about to shift.
Okay.
And with that, the project in the middle, which was, I believe, surveying the city for excavation, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Man, that was forever ago.
Yeah, it was. It was like 6 turns ago.
So where is this place that they found, or do they find a place?
They do find a place. It's actually kind of close to the subway. Through some divinations and a little bit of geological magic, they found what seems to be a thinner spot, a little to the east of the highway. Actually, like in between. Sorry, not the highway. The subway and the University of the Magical and the Mysterious.
Thinner in terms of what?
In terms of like depth to something. So there's less digging involved to get to a large.
Oh, they're
opening.
trying to get to something specific.
They're trying to make room by digging down
For living.
for more living quarters.
Right, but
So they found a hollow area, possibly.
right. Okay, so they're trying to get to something specific. There is a place there's like a hollow place inside the earth that they are trying to dig into.
They didn't know it.
They didn't know
initially.
it was there. They were looking for the easiest place to dig, and they're like, "Oh, this place is actually hollow here." This'll be a
Oh, okay.
great
All
place to
right.
dig."
All right. Because you said it was a thinner spot. I was confused.
I just realized that the acronym of the University of the Magical and Mysterious.
I'll keep
Would you
that in
consult
mind.
with first?
I like to
Hashtag
believe.
consult with
I can't say that.
Okay. So there's that hollow area.
This-
Yeah.
So we've discovered some kind of underground hollow. And you said it was beneath the subway?
No, it's to the east of the subway. It's in this area here. There is a. I'm gonna freehand it because it's actually kind of big. They found.
It's gonna be green.
Thanks. Let's make it brown. This is
Our default
Green.
color is set to green, so everything by default is green.
Guys, I gave the building lights.
I see that. They look
Yeah.
like party lights.
and this is
They look pretty good, actually,
um.
for the buildings in general. Though you didn't do the one twisted building, which I'm sad about.
Where's? Oh, you're right. I don't know what that is.
I think it's just one of those cool towers that's
Oh,
got
yeah, it's
really
twisty?
weird
Okay.
angles on it.
So I'm going to start another project, and it will take.
Wait,
Huh?
what?
Well, that was the project.
It's not your turn.
Oh, sorry. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. Here you go.
First
Okay.
escape is the best way.
But did you want to add something? Oh, this is like a whole entire like quarry right here?
Well,
that
it's an
that
underground
is
cavern
the that is the
Space where
hollow
there is an underground,
space.
that we've found. We haven't
Okay.
started digging into it yet.
Okay,
We've just
okay.
found
So-
a way into. We found it. We found a way into it.
No, you through magic you happen to know that the ground is thinner here.
Well,
too.
right. We found a way that we can dig into
But-
it.
But it has not physically been accessed.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Well, being that that we are out of projects at the moment, I think I will start a project. I'm looking at this pyramid in this perfectly square park. I'm really curious about this jackal thing, but I want to let that. I want to let the world build up a little bit more. Like that's a very like confusing, but I'm not ready to tackle it. But I think
You can't tackle the jackal.
can't tackle the jackal. Not yet, anyways. Looking for space, gathering artifacts.
Computers.
Oh gosh. You know, I think I want to build off of what James had been talking about, trying to give the artifacts. Have we mentioned at all like the process we have for giving humans artifacts? I don't think we did, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Mm-mm. Other than we can't tell them specifically how magic powers come about.
Right. We know
It
that
is-
we can't teach them magic, but that somehow artifacts give them magic. We don't know the exact connections there.
We also don't
Okay,
even know what
so-
magic is.
Yeah.
Is researching that.
But what
Um,
what I mean is that we have never actually said what magic does in this world.
Yeah.
It's
haven't.
true. That might be worth a discussion in a little bit, but
Oh.
I'm gonna go and start. I do want to get a project down so we have projects moving at all times.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna start. I think a nice four turn project for recruitment. There is a small cadre of our folk out there looking for future mages. We sense that there's a lot of things coming and we might need more of us. What we're facing yet, I think, is a little bit too vague to say, but there are omens, there are jackals, there are gremlins in the food stores, and we might need some interns to try to beat up some gremlins. So in fact, that's gonna be their first tasks. I'm gonna specifically say that we are recruiting, we are gathering recruits to try to protect our food source. And hopefully make them more competent mages after that.
More
So
mall cops.
4 weeks. 4 weeks. And next up is Carter.
All right. So we've got. There is a large body of water on the map. Where is it and what does it look like? Or there is a giant man-made structure on the map.
We have enough of those.
I don't know if men made any of these things.
Some of these buildings probably. Why is it abandoned? I love the ones like this where it's like normal question, and then just I'm not gonna tell you that it's abandoned. I'm just gonna ask you why is it abandoned?
Yeah.
It's hot.
Yeah, the presumption is pretty fun.
I feel like if this card had come up a lot sooner, it might have been better for the second option. Oh, I can't really influence your choice, but
Yeah. You were just giving a good example of things that you're not supposed to say.
choose you have to do it.
I mean, I could. Like, there's still plenty of things I could do. I could do, like, there's some huge tower off in the distance.
Another
but
one.
I think we... Yeah.
It's a round hole.
But there's plenty of things that we could discuss
That's correct.
that could be giant in other ways. Like, maybe there's a borehole somewhere. Or maybe there's a nuclear power plant.
Oh, sorry.
Like there's lots of things that could be giant man-made structures, but I think I am going to go with the large body of water on the map because through further research we have discovered. I need free hint for this. We have discovered. Can we?
Nope.
Sorry. There's no. It was this thing. This thing was fucking with me. We've discovered that the underground cavern is in fact largely water.
Ah, seems reasonable.
Curses. We forgot to bring our browsers.
If you make your thing large,
Awful.
you can set it to large instead of regular, and then it makes it really easy to fill up.
Okay.
Extra large.
Can
Here,
I undo?
Yeah. Just click the
yeah,
water.
you can Control Z.
That hasn't been working for some reason.
For some reason, those are considered two separate drawings.
Well,
Because
you
I
like,
lifted my pen between. Here, I've got an idea. I want to draw a
Green.
surface here. Oh, thanks.
All right, well, while he's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and take my project down.
Yeah, good call.
Ooh. Hey, while he's also doing that, I was marking down some plot threads so we don't forget stuff that's going on. What anybody else? Let's see. I've got digging for living space, gathering artifacts, obviously the jackals.
Dog likes bone.
I thought you said she almost finished it earlier.
She had what's left.
Huh?
What's left?
Is there anything else that we need to add here? Maybe relationship with humans.
Yeah, it was like this.
Yeah, relationships with humans strained.
With a sad face.
Yeah, fuck, it's good enough. Alright. This far away from it, I'm not going to worry about it anymore. So we found that the underground cavern is mostly filled with water. And some of Dr. Meredith's archaeological rivals at have decided to in an attempt to undercut her because they're worried after her success with the featureless tower that the higher ups at are going to give the cavern expansion project to her. They've decided to undercut her on this and make a dig even before the building crews can get out there to open up the underground cavern and see if there's anything inside of it. And they're trying to do this fast, so that's going to take 2 weeks.
I'm just stating the fact that whoever works the most makes the most.
And that's the project I'm starting. Joe, I need you to move today.
Okay. 3 weeks? 2 weeks?
2 weeks. 2 weeks. They want it done fast.
You gotta get that grant.
No, they're
All right.
specifically not getting the grant because they're not waiting.
No,
And so
doing this
they're
without
doing this
permission.
in direct competition with archaeologist girl Dr. Meredith?
Yeah, they're worried that Dr. Meredith is going to get assigned to excavate the underground cavern after her success, and out of jealousy, because she's young, they are trying to undercut her.
It's a good card.
What natural predators roam this area? Are you safe?
Or where does everyone
Wow.
sleep, and who is unhappy with this arrangement and why?
Predators specifically mean that they kill something, and not
Yeah.
just like
I think
That's
scavenge.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Hunting, I think, is also typically.
Though you have some flexibility in your interpretation of predator.
Yeah. I kind of the sleep one I feel like kind of has an answer, which I can't really. Can I explain it, like while I'm talking now, or is that something
Well,
that I gotta leave you guys to guess?
You have to choose one or the other.
Right.
I mean, if it has not been said as a thing, then it's not real in this setting. So
Right.
like, even if the answer seems obvious to you, it's not real yet, and very easily it could change.
Okay.
The university?
What?
He's just sticking around.
You said,
Oh my god! I
like
need to
really
make.
long and drawn out.
Yeah, I need to make another school called what? Or the acronym is what? There are natural predators in the
Where
area.
humans
What natural predators?
acquire-
It's the gremlins.
The gremlins are natural predators?
They're natural to this area specifically.
And
We're not
they
in.
are predators.
They're predators when there isn't enough gorgonzola for them to eat.
Oh,
So
okay.
right now we're safe.
I see. So they're naturally.
Their natural food source is gorgonzola.
So that's why the scarcity of gorgonzola is concerning.
Yes.
Because if we run out of gorgonzola for them to mooch off of us, they're going to start attacking people.
Yes.
Okay.
They're actually very feral. It has a weird like a weird chemical
Gorgonzola gremlins.
it's kind of like when people get drunk or high, like it's almost like a drug and it pacifies them. But it's also their like what they choose to eat. Maybe because they were kind of
The
not
gorgonzola must
domesticated.
flow.
Well, not that they were domesticated, but they were conditioned to eat gorgonzola. Because when they attack people, people fight back. But the gorgonzola makes them all chill and is more accessible and easier to get.
I see. That makes sense. That explains why we store all of our food, including our gorgonzola, in some place that the gremlins can easily get to.
Mm-hmm.
Because we want them to steal the gorgonzola.
They get into some other stuff sometimes.
But mostly gorgonzola.
Fortunately, they usually go for the gorgonzola pretty quick.
This will help me very
This
much
is
with
pretty
my intern project.
Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah, I've got some
I've
thoughts
taken it down.
of this.
So James, you're on your third of your turn here.
Okay, I'm going to start a project.
Cool.
Dr. Meredith, knowing that Dr. Thimdaran, has started his archaeological dig into the other underground cavern, has started an accelerated research program into the artifacts found in the featureless tower. She expects it to take 1 week.
Ooh. She's rushing this.
Maybe that link is going to come back to bite her.
All right. We're I'm sorry. I heard that she's racing them. What is she trying to do?
She is researching the artifacts she found in the featureless tower.
Okay.
And she is rushing her research with all of her, not interns, what are they called? Research assistants? What are
Sure.
students called? Yeah,
Research
research
assistants.
assistants and students. Either way. And trying to finish it, and she believes it will be done in 1 week.
All right. Right on. Next up is Redbeard, the Queen of Spring.
Queen Spring. What is the most beautiful thing in this area?
It used to be the perfect square.
Or what is the most hideous thing in this area?
Now it's the perfect square.
Are you the most beautiful thing in the area?
I'm gonna say that there is a matriarch of the magical community. Named Lady Lady Umbral.
Is it spelled with 2 M's?
God damn it. No, not that then. Lady
What bull? Headmaster of the what academy?
Lady Beatrice. Who is renowned not only for her wisdom and guidance to the magical community, but also her astounding beauty.
All right.
Resisting
Well,
urge to make funny comment that
underground
can't be
cavern. They went without a grant and they got in there. What did they find?
They find that the underground cavern is incredibly large. They dig their way into the top of it, and they look down into the mostly water-filled space and see a small island sitting in the water. And from the island, a light shines up at them.
Oh no, that dice fell over.
That's all I have right now.
Oh man,
Okay.
everything's going
So
off this
mysterious
turn,
light
isn't
in
it?
the cavern?
No, the
No,
one
no,
on the
I already
left
took that one down.
was-
Oh, okay.
But the research on the artifact is concluding.
Let's see.
The incredibly hasty research.
The incredibly hasty research. We mentioned something about demons before, right?
Yeah, we've mentioned angels, demons, and gremlins as things that exist in this world. Though we haven't... we'd say that angels and demons somehow were created by artifacts. That's
Okay.
all we know.
That's what I had remembered. I was just making sure that was
I
what
totally
was
missed that.
happening.
Cool.
I mentioned that in the discussion on what we were going to do with the
In their
artifacts
hasty
from the tower.
research of these artifacts, most of them seem to be relatively harmless. You know, this one lets you breathe underwater. This one lets you control fire, but is fairly easy to figure out how to use it, so it's not like destructive unless you intend it. And these are all artifacts that the students and research assistants had been looking into. However, Dr. Meredith, with all of her, unfortunate luck, and maybe it has to do with the fact that she was so charming, has turned into a succubus? And it's making people wonder if the artifacts in the Featureless Tower are worth investigating further, because of the disastrous results that the head archaeologist has come to.
I liked her.
She's still alive. She's still there. She's just a succubus now. She's still part of the community. She's just a literal actual demon. But it's not like there aren't other literal actual demons in the community.
I'm gonna be honest. When that card came up, it's like a woman is tempting people to do something sinful or dangerous. I just wanted it to be a succubus in the first place.
So
And
my
now
character
it's
that I turned into being a good member of the community is now a succubus. Because that's the same card that created her. That's somebody good.
So now you got both sides of the card.
She's still a teacher and a researcher.
She's just now archaeological succubus Dr. Meredith. Got her listed as that. So, Redbeard, you have your final third of the turn here.
I want to start a discussion that I mentioned earlier. What are the magical abilities of this community? Are they just your standard D&D spell, cast a fireball, levitate? Are they something more unique and extreme, like Mistborn type magics? We've kind of already been saying that the artifacts are bestowing abilities and unleashing things, but are the powers then only within the artifacts, or are they unlocking innate abilities?
Well, as we all know, the artifacts they imbue their user with a certain cadre of spells, or perhaps just one spell. But they must grow to understand those spells. The artifacts they are given, the artifacts that our fresh interns are given, are generally very small artifacts with minor spells, nothing too dangerous. As you know, we catalog the level and potency of artifacts, and the more complex and more powerful an artifact, the more vast a grimoire of spells that artifact can produce, the more various its effects.
Certain artifacts, each artifact has a particular set of magic that it gives to the user, but the exact effects vary somewhat because it has to interact with the person's individual nature to turn them into the exact non-mortal that they will become. And these non-mortals are classified based on power level and some of the side effects of the things. For example, those who turn mad are referred to as gremlins.
Intriguing.
And a person can use more than one artifact, and the artifact doesn't really have to be on you to use magic. The magic comes from you. The artifacts unlock that part, kind of. And it's fabled, rumored, that it's immortals themselves that make artifacts in the first place. The methods are lost, if that is how they came about. But from what legends are around, artifacts that are created come from the abilities of the immortal that created it in the first place, which kind of means that artifacts can propagate other artifacts, or their abilities can be combined. At least, maybe that is what they used to do. But it hasn't been done in centuries, if it was ever done in the first place. There's no records.
Well, that brings us to the end of spring. So now
gets a statement because he asked a question.
Oh, yeah, it was a question. You're right.
I don't have anything to add.
Oh, beautiful.
That's the end of spring?
End of spring, and so real quick, I'll recount our plot threads we have going. We're looking for more living space down below because we're running out. We're gathering artifacts because, well, we need them to create more spellcasters and to potentially give them to humans, depending on what our relationship with them should be. We have to deal with those Gorgonzola gremlins, and hopefully soon we will. The Church of the Jackals and their computers represents a looming threat, and our relationship with the humans, the leeches, is strained. What does that mean? And what was that doppelganger omen referring to? What fate is coming to us?
Yeah.
Indeed. We'll have to play fast.
I'm thinking that we're probably going to have to pause this after summer.
Yeah.
And
Well, summer can end quickly, and winter can end quickly. So we'll see. We'll see if we can play a little faster. But
it can, but we'd have to play very quickly to wrap this up. But we'll see how it goes. But right now, I'm thinking that we're probably going to have to pause it after summer and finish this later.
Which is fine.
Well, is it? Oh, it's me, isn't it? Because River's the last one.
Yep.
So, summer is a time for production and tending to the earth. Start a project related to food production. This is actually kind of perfect because it'll tie into. Summer is a time for conquest and the gathering of might. Oh, start a project related to military conquest. God damn, that's good though.
These are both really good for right now.
Yeah.
This is what?
Gorgonzola seems like.
3?
The Gorgonzola seems too good.
There is one plot thread that so far it's a very minor plot thread, but it's kind of a subplot thread of the digging for living space, but there was a light from an island in the lake in the underground cavern.
Oh, right. Yeah, go ahead and grab that in there. Okay, so I'm gonna go with we're starting a project to try to open up some trades with a distant sister community in another country, another magic community. They know our plight with the gremlins. They're willing to take some of our lesser artifacts in exchange for Gorgonzola. We've gathered up a whole bunch of artifacts. We've recognized that a lot of them are kind of minor, and we are willing to trade. So we're building up a potential trade system there. I'm going to say that project will take 3 weeks, and I'll say that the port is on the east side of the city, or the west side of the city over here. Now projects look down. This will go, so I'll get to do that. And so the internship is almost a failure, with the exception of one unexpected intern that everyone thought was going to fail. Intern Chad turned out to be the hero that we needed. He was given a minor artifact that was presumably that we thought would be the safest thing to give to Chad because he was just such a miserable failure otherwise. We gave him a let me think about this.
I almost want to mute the mic and say it.
Because that could influence us too. And that's
Well,
part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I know, but it's funny.
So they gave him an artifact that would allow him to store things. A kind of they were all going after these gremlins, trying to protect things, and so it was an artifact that he would be able to contain things within that artifact. He would be able to, if he saw some gremlins going after some gorgonzola, he could gather it up in that artifact, and it would be safe. But he accidentally miscast the spell and absorbed gorgonzola into his own inner soul, and what happened as a result was that the gremlins began behaving strangely around him. They began to follow him around and listen to his every command. He learned that by merging his essence with the essence of gorgonzola, the spiritual material that makes up the fabric of gorgonzola, that strange thing that the gremlins were actually interested in, not the taste, not the sustenance, but the whatever the building blocks of gorgonzola are that align with their essences. It was now within Chad, and he could command the gremlins. Chad the Gremlin King.
Huh. Beautiful. So
Gorgonzola.
we've kind of taken care of our gorgonzola shortage 2 ways and taken care of the gremlins.
Yeah, so I think gorgonzola is no longer a scarcity.
Well, I mean, I think we're still
think-
scarce on gorgonzola. We just don't need it as badly right now. When we complete the trading thing, I think it will stop being a
That's fair.
scarcity.
That's fair. I'll leave it on there for now. Okay.
Chad, the Gorgonzola Lord. I didn't think you had heard it.
So
That's
second
what I
thing
said
here,
again.
I do kind of want to hold a discussion. Okay. Was there any particular? You know what? We need to just talk about, I think, about our relationship with humans potentially here. What I want to know is, what was it that drove us to be a hidden society? Why do we not stand out in the open with our magic?
The hidden nature of our community harkens back to the early days of our community, back in the second age of the city. All of the history from the first age of the city, when the pyramid was built, it has been lost. But the second age of the city is when the recordings began, and during that time, it was decided that if the humans found out, if non-magical people found out that certain persons in the community had obtained magic, they would become jealous and attack us. You're done.
And I mean that so much so because magic and artifacts are a limited resource. This is a question really quick. Am I allowed to go back into history that current day people don't know about? But
I just did.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
The reason artifacts are so limited is that in order to create an artifact, it takes an immortal's life. They pour their life essence into an object with the intent of making one. It's never an accident.
And so that's something that happened during the first age?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool.
That's perfect.
And basically, the reason that information's been lost is more to protect immortals themselves, because, I mean, they could be coerced into doing it, or just drive themselves to extinction trying to make more artifacts.
Oh,
it just
so
ends
this-
up being too dangerous.
So this information wasn't so much lost as it was buried?
Mm-hmm.
So the end of the or during the, as you called it, the first age, I think.
Yeah. The first age is the secret age.
This city was actually a it was a thriving magical community. There wasn't such a thing as non-magical people living in the city, and towards the end of the first age, there was some sort of plague or disaster that occurred that was affecting magical peoples, and therefore a lot of them gave up their essence to become artifacts, which is why there's so many in this city, and a lot of people stopped inheriting their magical abilities from the artifacts in order to keep themselves from being affected by this plague, and that's why the non-magical, the leech community started growing more.
Interesting. So I want to just to make sure I understood something. James, you said that we don't necessarily know that that the immortals were how artifacts were created. They sacrificed themselves. Our oldest members had to die in order to make artifacts.
Not necessarily the oldest. Anyone could do it. Immortal is just a term for a magic user. It's mortals and immortals is like the technical terms, even though leeches is kind of becoming the more
that's
popular
perfect.
term.
I'm going to build on that a little bit then.
Okay.
So, immortals are what we are all called, but the eldest of the immortals, as they live for too long, they start to become dangerous to the fabric of reality, and we don't understand this yet. It's lost knowledge. There are warning signs that suggest that an immortal must be prepared to sacrifice themselves, to turn themselves inert, to transfer their energy to a new object, to prevent the fabric. It needs to be recycled. It needs to be renewed. It needs to be the magical energy needs to be molted, or else it will create dangerous marks on space. And I think that'll be enough there. I'm referring to the doppelgangers.
Ah, okay.
I was also thinking about why the information might be buried in the first place. I think it was more selfish.
That would be very good, yeah. But let's not expand too much. But I like that. All right. So next up is Carter, right?
Yep. Ooh, I got the ace. The ace of summer.
Oh yeah, I got the ace of.
I keep doing this. Hold on. All right. If I click. All right. There we go.
There we go. All right. A contingent within the community demand to be heard. Who are they? What are they asking for? Or a contingent within the community have acted on their frustrations. What have they damaged, and why did they damage it? Is it permanent?
How pissed off are this contingent?
I have a quick question that isn't related to this.
I have a couple great hooks this game.
Can discoveries be groups of people? Like, not necessarily a location, but like a faction?
Click on the discover something new.
Yeah, I would think that would qualify.
Introduce, it might be a problem, an opportunity.
New situation, yeah. So that would certainly qualify.
Okay, yeah, I got a great idea.
Okay.
Great is relative.
There's so many different contingents you could go with here. Because it's kind of... we've been just setting up things and... I kind of like how this one is essentially the same question. It's just how extreme things have gotten.
And again, it's kind of the idea of these could be asking about the same situation viewed from two different angles.
Yeah.
And that I find is interesting because then not only do the answers tell us something, but even which one we pick tells us something about the community and tells us something about the larger view of.
Can we move the card over to see the lore section?
Here, let me just take it up. We know what the things say.
I was looking at.
Oh.
Just put it over the map for now.
The ace? Was it 3?
It was
The
ace.
ace. Because I like to consider the wording on these. Because that usually gives me something to go on to actually make a decision.
All right, where do you want to? You can move
Right
it.
here,
Okay.
it's fine. All right. I think either way, it's going to be the contingent within the community that believes that artifacts should be essentially released into the wild, that that the mortals of the city should be made aware of the existence of artifacts, and our massive store of artifacts should be shared with them. But have they acted on their frustrations, or are they demanding to be heard? I deleted them out too. So I'm going to be switching these back and forth.
I can finish my stuff very quickly. All I've got left is really to just glue shit on. And that's all for me what it is. Glue it until it looks pretty.
Gorgonzola.
I think they have acted on their frustrations. They've acted on their frustrations, and the thing that they have damaged is the pyramid. Believing there to be further artifacts yet undiscovered in the pyramid, they have taken the opportunity of the hole created by the meteor strike in the perfectly square park to enter the pyramid and have a mob of a few hundred. So a significant mob has entered the pyramid and, searching for artifacts, has pulled bricks out of the walls, has knocked down internal structures, destroyed precious archaeological objects that are not artifacts in the mystical sense. And in their damaging of the pyramid, the square park has, throughout it, grown cracks. And the cracks remain dry no matter how much water is poured on them. Even in the middle of the rainstorm, the cracks are always dry. As far as anyone knows, it is very, very prominent.
This project takes down?
Yeah. Takes down. And I'm going to put a new project on the board so that we have something going. I'm going to give it a high number so we've got it going for a while. And that is going to be
Oh no. The park looks awful.
it's full of cracks. Full of perpetually dry cracks.
I mean, it was full of crack before, but it was a different kind of crack.
Right, that crack was damn wet.
The perfect square has gotten.
It's still perfectly square.
It's just ugly.
It's just fucked up.
I like to imagine that it's perfect square,
It's a crack park.
like the name of a square,
Yeah,
like Times Square.
but it's
Perfect
perfectly
square.
square. It's
Ooh, I like
square
that.
Park. And so this project is some researchers at have believe that they have figured out a way to theoretically pull things that have gone into the Orb of Annihilation out of the Orb of Annihilation. And so they are going to attempt to run an experiment, and this is going to take... They've gotten the funding, but it's going to take 6 weeks to set up and run the experiment.
All right, so where are we putting this one?
On the Orb of Annihilation.
On the orb. All right. I like that it sits behind the buildings.
I thought it was the Sphere of Obliteration.
Sphere of Obliteration? whatever we're calling this thing.
No, it was Obliterating Sphere.
Obliterating Sphere.
All right.
You know,
The
because
ball
let's
of-
address the Obliterating Sphere in the room.
Right.
The 6 of Summer.
Because I realized we hadn't actually done anything with it.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess.
I've been thinking about it, but I've also been thinking about a lot of other things.
Oh, sure. There's always more things to do than stuff we can.
Outsiders arrive in the area. Why are they a threat? How are they vulnerable? Well, they're vulnerable because they don't have fucking magic, probably. Outsiders arrive in the area. How many? How are they greeted?
Well, I can't say that.
Yeah.
Nope. I was gonna say something, but then I realized it's not, because it had something to do with the rules, but it also would make implications on story ideas, so I can't say it.
Outsiders don't necessarily have to be magic users. Because we've established that this city has non-magic users living in it, right?
Yeah, the city is mostly non-magic users. Well, we haven't established we never actually, we talked about ratio, but we never actually established a ratio. But we did mention that there are non-magic users. I mean, if nothing else, the Jackal community is non-magic.
And the living space
Um,
project implies that.
So, outsiders have arrived in the area. Refugees from a neighboring country, which has been in magical and non-magical turmoil for maybe 3 or 4 years at this point.
Magical and non-magical turmoil in...
Just there has been turmoil in general. Not
Oh,
necessarily-
okay.
Both magic and non-magic. It's basically a war zone.
Got it. I thought you meant that there was conflict between the magical and non-magical communities.
No, they're not necessarily working with each other. It's more like two conflicts that are coinciding with each other.
Got it. It's just a conflict that doesn't care about the magical, non-magical divide.
Right. So it's about 400 refugees. And, I mean, they're not necessarily greeted with open arms. Like, people aren't trying to kick them out. But we're not sure where we're going to put them.
Oh,
We
we're
don't-
Turkey.
We don't have a lot of space already. And now we have these refugees that, I mean, their situation is bad. We're not just going to say go back home, but we're not going to have a great... Unless we find some more space like we were trying to do earlier, but which turned out to be a giant pool of water with an island.
We don't know that's not going to work for living space. We don't know much about it yet.
It's kind of weird that there was that rush to get there, and then
And then
we
nothing
kind of
happened.
forgot about it.
Unless we find some more habitable space, this is probably the most we could take in, and even that's going to be a strain on our Gorgonzola supplies, on our space supplies.
Are they magical or non-magical refugees?
About a quarter of them are magical, but they don't interact with each other. Like 400 of them came in, about 100 of them are magic users, and 300 are not magic users.
Right.
They happen to be coming from the same place, but they don't interact with each other much.
Right.
All right. And with that, the 6 will become a 5. Whoa.
What?
All right. I accidentally dragged the 6 and almost turned it upside down. And my 1 will go away. So the Gorgonzola trade did not go exactly as expected. We were given Gorgonzola, a lot of it, but they refused our artifacts. They said that our artifacts were tainted. They were touched. They had by proximity to strange magic become corrupted and were no good in trade. So instead, they demanded the hand of Lady Beatrice in marriage to one of their royalty.
Dun, dun, dun.
Lady Beatrice is not happy about it, but she serves her people, and so she has become betrothed to Lord Dirthbert.
He sounds like fun.
He's actually a really nice guy, but
Just has an unfortunate name.
yeah.
Dirthbert. That sounds like a Dilbert knockoff comic.
But I will remove the Gorgonzola scarcity.
I am going to discover something new-ish. It is a building. It's like, well, that's bad.
I have it set to
Control Z?
thin right now because I was drawing cracks.
No, it wasn't that though. I was expecting lines and got freehand
Ah,
delete. Okay.
There's a thing for Polygon Line.
Yeah. Okay. I messed up. Surprise, surprise, James.
I like that the island in the underground cavern looks like a giant fish face. Maybe it is.
Okay.
I don't know.
So this is the
Click and then click where you want the line to go.
yeah.
And then is it right click to stop?
I'm not sure.
I clicked on the cursor to stop doing lines.
Oh, that works too. It's a boot.
I guess so. That's okay. Actually, I should have just been doing lines, not polygon lines. I don't want colors. No. What is going on? Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. We'll do
It's, and yeah, the polygon line tool is the closest thing to a
whatever.
regular line.
It's green.
You can draw it and then change it.
Oh, I can?
Yeah, you can change the color as long as you don't draw anything up. Never mind.
Oh, I thought I had
You
to
can
click
change it there too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I was saying is, as long as you don't draw anything else, you can if you just change the colors. It will change the color of the thing.
You know what? I think I've added enough detail to this thing. I'm just gonna make it worse every time I do it. Okay.
It's a great thing.
It's a great Final Fantasy 3 foot.
It's a boot with a large window in it.
Did we
What?
name?
It was on Lady
Hold on, what did we
Shoot.
name this city?
We
Have we
haven't.
named-
We have not.
We have
named
not.
the city yet.
The
We joked about names, but we haven't actually named it.
Well, I think it's going to be called Lord Dirthbert's Kingdom pretty soon.
Oh,
I'm kind of.
so this is
Dirtboria.
the Wisberthian historical
Berthian.
Wisberthian historical and archival
Oh, I see. This is what.
yeah, I can't think of it.
Theater?
No, it's a library basically. It's a historical research library.
Terrarium.
James, I just send you.
Tabernacle.
Tabulary.
Tabulary.
Oh,
All right.
God. This is just the city of shitty names.
Wizards are fucking pretentious.
But like everything is like Church of the Jackal is probably the best name.
That's
thing
probably
we have.
not even an actual
And
name.
that's saying something because that's not a good name. It's barely a label.
Historial.
Oh, oops. No, I like it. Leave it. It's still real.
Oh, I should have hit enter.
Return carriage.
And
If you hit escape, you can move it.
okay.
Then,
Yeah.
yeah.
I like this is still a questionably an underground
And you have to
cavern
hold
over
tab
here.
to-
Like, underground cavern? Is it?
Hold tab to not snap.
Tab?
Or sorry, alt.
Alt.
James, are you trying to smash?
Dave's trying to smash.
You want some fuck?
Whose turn is it?
Do you want to making fuck, Berserker?
Wisberian historical and archival tabulary.
So is the town now called Wisberia?
yeah.
Right.
Oh boy.
I kind of had already
Or-
figured this
I
couldn't
mean-
be Earth.
We don't know that it's called Wisberia. We know that that's the Wisberian historical.
Okay, sure.
It
Historical
could be
and
a,
archival
it could be a
tabulary.
society.
Right. It could be the name of the society. It could be a person's name that it's named after.
Well, is he allowed to say what that means as part of his?
No.
Okay.
I don't want it.
Okay. Can I have a card?
All right.
No.
Yes.
I don't want it.
The 10th of summer. You discover a cache of supplies or resources. Add a new abundance.
Gorgonzola!
Oh wow. A scarcity has gone unaddressed for too long. Start a project that will alleviate that. Okay, we have not even talked about spice.
Yeah, we really haven't talked about the spice scarcity.
What's spice
So do we? Well, we
we
can
can't
discover
ask
a cache of an existing resource that we don't have an abundance of, or
Right.
a new resource that we
Right.
don't have on there.
I'd like to go with the second one and figure and define what spice does for this society. So Gorgonzola is like this. It's a kind of an accidental discovery of this mystical energy that the gremlins seem to thrive on.
Which were formerly human, as
Right.
it turns out.
But the counterpart to Gorgonzola is spice, which has a positive energy, magical energy to it, and is naturally occurring within the world at large. What was the wording of the card? Sorry.
Oh,
Start a new project to
Okay.
address
alleviate
the
scarcity. Yeah.
It is naturally occurring within the world, but not locally. And with the recent discoveries that the city has made of Gorgonzola and its properties, the city contacts another of the wizarding magical communities and establishes trade of Gorgonzola for spice.
Especially now that we have the Gorgonzola Lord.
Yeah. This trade mission will take 3 weeks.
Okay. And then things tick down, so that becomes a 2.
Yeah. So I did make it a this. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Word.
I feel like I had something in mind.
I really like the art that Joe has made for the underground cavern.
Thanks.
I like my hat.
Let's Start a project for the underground cavern.
Could be. What?
Project for the underground cavern.
What you trying to do with it?
So they unearthed this mysterious island with a glowing light, but were too afraid of what it might be to act immediately, and
Which is why they will always live in Dr. Meredith's shadow.
Dr. Thindered actually was too nervous to go forward with the project, was hesitant of what unforeseen circumstances might arise. But Dr. Archaeological Succubus Meredith is now driving for a further investigation into the cavern, and once the whatever power or whatever might be in there to be claimed, and is working on getting the resources together to go further.
And she'll bang anyone who gets in her way.
Or
I mean, I guess, yeah, she's a succubus.
Yeah.
So
Or-
that was murder.
or who don't, like, you know, whoever.
She'll bang just about everyone. All right. Well,
Wow.
how long is this?
It's 4 weeks.
We are... I would like to just point out that we are terrible human beings. The only two female characters we have... we turned one into a succubus, and we married the other one off to Lord Dirthbert.
I created 2 wonderful characters.
And so far, our one hero is named Chad.
I haven't done anything to either of them. I'm just saying that we collectively are terrible people.
I don't want to be dragged in with that.
High five, Joe.
We've dragged ourselves into this.
I created a beautiful matriarch of this city and a successful archaeological
Well, if you hadn't
doctor.
dressed her so nicely, I wouldn't have married her off.
I'm
just saying,
I
look at what
refuse
she's
to name
wearing.
any characters for this reason. I don't want to know what's going to happen to them.
Look, archaeological succubus Dr. Meredith has had nothing but success since this started.
Success. Emphasis on suck.
Oh god.
Succubus sex.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well.
The old projects.
Oh, no.
Project fails.
Oh right. I forgot about that other one.
I do see... Well, I can't say that.
Whose turn is it?
Yours.
It's yours, Joe.
Oh, fuck. All right. We're definitely failing a project.
Yeah.
And it's almost certainly the orb project. But I need to be recalled on the nature of the orb project.
The orb project. I just want to do something with the orb. The
Well,
project
something's gonna happen.
was a group of researchers that had realized after long years of studying, they realized that it should be theoretically possible to pull things that have disappeared into the orb back out of the orb, or the obliterating sphere. Was that it?
Obliterating sphere.
Obliterating sphere. Things that have been destroyed by the obliterating sphere, it should be possible to pull them back out of the sphere somehow. And so they were taking 6 weeks to set up and attempt an experiment that should theoretically pull things back out of the sphere.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
And the
So-
sphere is about 5 feet in diameter.
So things do happen here. Things do come out of the sphere, but first let's talk about what goes into the sphere unintentionally. One of the elders runs up to the operation while everybody's observing the sphere, and he's panicking. He's shaking everybody left and right, and he's saying, "What have we done? What have we done? I have to. and while everybody's trying to figure out what he's talking about, he suddenly leaps into the sphere, and it begins to destabilize and expand. And then these ancient, strange beings jump out of the orb as it expands outwards, and all our mortals can do is run from this orb and try to hold back its expansion. But these strange figures have escaped and moved into the city, and we don't know what they are or when they came from. But
Maybe
the
they're
project to understand the orb better has not gone so well, and it has also knocked out power in the blocks nearby. And yeah, I'll put that there.
I'm not sure how
Oh,
this is a
what's
secret
that?
community.
It's not going to be for long.
Right.
It has been for thousands of years. And we fucked it up.
We elected Trump.
Lord Dirthbert.
Oh no! He was so close to me. No, he still can. That wasn't an official statement.
No, that
he can
wasn't.
still be a nice guy. It's not your turn.
Redbeard, high five.
I'll high five. This is for turning the 2 female characters into.
That doesn't make it better.
Yeah, if we
Fuck
were
all
on
the
a
female
characters.
characters. Adding Trump does not make it better.
Oh no, I'm just saying I didn't get a high five for the earlier thing of messing with the 2 female characters we had introduced.
Oh my god.
Because he did the other one.
You two are so much the worst that it makes the 4 of us on average still
All right,
the worst.
let's go ahead and build off of this discussion we have going on right now, which is
Make it
Why do
official.
all the
police.
females?
It started off with just the police investigating strange occurrences around the city, but it has now gone up to the government's special esoteric division of the Guardian Elite.
SI.
They are exploring our city and digging out our society. What is our community doing in response to government now trying to find out what's going on here? What's causing all these disturbances?
So are you discovering something new?
This is a discussion.
Oh,
You said
okay.
it's going to be a discussion.
Okay.
I guess a discussion should be. I'm going to say I'll discover something new. Actually, I'm going to say that that it's something we can continually discuss later. As a result of our strange happenings, government agents have begun appearing in the city, investigating the goings on, and they're getting closer and closer to uncovering our society as a whole. I'm going to say I'm going to make a little building for their bureau, and then that'll be the end of my turn. So. Oh.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Alice among you tell us what caused the death. I think we just kind of did that one.
Yeah,
The
right.
eldest among you is very sick. Caring for them and searching for a cure requires the help of the entire community. Do not reduce project dice this week.
It's so awkward.
Well, I mean, the eldest may have died, but now we have a new eldest.
Yeah, that's the, like, we'd already had the eldest in the community as an established character.
But the eldest among you doesn't mean one person. Doesn't necessarily mean
Oh,
one
that's
person.
true. Fair enough.
In fact,
Ooh.
everyone who saw their doppelganger,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everyone who saw their doppelganger, which was everyone in the community more than 100 years old, which was a significant portion of the community. It was a minority of the community, but still a significant minority, has suddenly disappeared. We know through divination that they are dead. What we don't know is why none of them has left a corpse. We also know that what each of them has left is a previously unknown artifact.
That is exactly where I was thinking about going with that.
I like this.
And And
I got an idea for my turn now.
I got some ideas.
I want to start.
Dice.
I want to start a project
Well,
because.
Dice is first.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Oh
sorry.
right. Dice tick down.
So Redbeard's project is going off.
I don't remember that one.
That was the
It was-
Gorgonzola for spice.
Oh, which means now we don't have scarcity of spice, right?
No.
Well, we have to decide what the outcome is.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Could be bad. Could be good.
We could have gotten fucked over and fake spice.
Working with Chad, the Gremlin King, to pass on the knowledge of Gorgonzola research. The communities are able to work together to share the Gorgonzola supplies to alleviate the gremlin problem that they have been having. In return, the other community had offered spice, and when the shipments were sent out from the other city, they were inspected and they were vibrant and useful and everything. But the moment that the spice shipments were brought within the city parameters, it all went dud.
What project was this?
That is the investigating the underground cavern.
Okay.
It was on the left side.
Well, I want to start a new project, but I have an idea, and so I'm.
Who
going
started
to,
the underground cavern project?
I did.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I'm going to discover something new. Also, is there a 4 that's missing?
I suppose so.
All right. Okay.
I think there was a 4 on the orb when we lost
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
The orb ate it.
No,
there's
no,
an
it's
extra.
an extra 4.
All right. I'm just not going to question that anymore. All right. So I'm going to discover something new, and the new thing that I'm discovering is that the beings that have come out of the sphere, with their many faces and grasping tentacles, have all begun making their way towards the entrance to the underground cavern.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do.
And the light in the cavern has grown more intense. We don't
Alright.
know if these things are related or not.
I really hope you don't fuck up what I want to do.
I don't know. That's the end. That's what I've got so far. They're making their way towards the cavern.
No, I'm
What
talking
you
to
do, though?
James.
A project finishes early. What led to its early completion?
Damn it! Wait,
Or-
so does he get to? I get.
Yes.
I get to
Yes.
decide.
If he
what
does
to
that
do.
one.
The weather is nice and the people can feel potential all around them. Start a new project.
Or you can start a new project.
The weather is nice and the people feel potential all around them. The potential for investigation.
That's probably a good call with the how few projects we have going right now.
Yeah. It's gonna take 4 weeks. We're going to investigate.
Because we have extra 4s.
Yeah, because we have extra 4 minutes. It's gonna take 4 weeks. Actually, 5 weeks. Because then it'll be 4 when after this card.
Right.
They're investigating the mysterious deaths of all of the elders. What happened? We know that unidentified artifacts have been left behind, but other than that, I don't know. Well, we're gonna find out. With the power of magic and investigation.
Ah.
I'm gonna take this card.
All right.
I took it. It's mine now.
That over here by the. Seems like that's a university project. All right. Well,
Oops. Oops.
Still tick down.
Oops.
What did you do?
There. Fix it. Okay.
Did you?
Yeah. See? Look.
Why is it in a separate deck?
I took it.
What?
It's in my hand.
Why?
Because it doesn't matter. Because I wanted it, obviously. Okay. Okay.
Well, project dice have ticked down. Third of your turn.
Is that the 4?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing is Inquisition headquarters.
Yeah, that's the government agents that I mentioned.
I'm gonna have. This is gonna be a long one. It'll be 6 weeks. We're gonna have someone infiltrate the Inquisition. People are starting to get paranoid.
Rosie, no ma'am. Get down.
Just in general.
Get down.
Basically, everything that can be investigated is getting investigated at this point.
Seems reasonable.
It's honestly, it's kind of the beginning of hysteria. Too many things have gone wrong lately.
Ooh. Introduce a mystery at the edge of the map, or an unattended situation becomes problematic and scary.
We have a few unattended situations.
Yeah, I need to look at these. We haven't addressed.
The jackals in a while.
Yeah, the jackals.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you?
Sorry. Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wanted to play with you, but apparently that is in the way.
It's just a
That
bad
is-
thing to do during the stream. Actually, that's the main one that we haven't really touched in a while. Let me think for a moment.
We do also have the refugee crisis.
Yeah.
Strained relationship with the humans.
That's ongoing. We've been working on that.
Yeah, but we haven't, like, there's not anything specific with that that's going on.
It's already becoming problematic and scary.
True.
Um,
I'm trying not to make suggestions, I'm just listing.
No,
the
I-
refugee
Yeah,
crisis.
he just mentioned
No, I was saying is mislabeled. We did take them in. We don't have much space for more after the ones we did take in, but we did accept them.
So there was an attack by a well-known, prominent Jackal member.
The Jack Lord. Sorry, we already had that joke.
Not a leader, just a prominent member, well-known. And he seemed to be using certain magical abilities, but there was nobody was aware of any artifacts gone missing or anything. They don't know how he could have gotten his hands on this. But he was there was a conflict between him and some of the immortals, and he was defeated. And on his person, they found a small rectangular box with lights and a screen on it that they didn't recognize, but was giving off an aura similar to that of magical artifacts.
Some kind of human artifact.
Yeah.
Neat.
I know what it is.
Okay.
Considering anyone can decide, I know what it is.
All right.
We'll
Whoops, I didn't
see.
that. Project dice.
Maybe we all know what
Well,
it is.
We'll see.
first
if
we'll
you
start with
know
the
what it
underground
is,
cavern.
because what it is hasn't been declared yet.
So I had an idea for this, and I hope it's not stepping on anyone's toes.
Go for it. If it
So
steps on
the-
our toes, we have to deal with it.
Right.
The excavation into the cavern, the group of the group of archaeologists and research assistants delves into the cave and makes landfall on the island in the center of the underground cavern. The light is nearly blinding at this point, and they have to use certain magical wards to be able to even approach. In the center of the island, they find a large tree-like structure with large pods hanging off of the branches. And upon investigation, they see within the pods shriveled old bodies. And one of them is recognized as one of the elders who recently went missing.
And was divined to be dead.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Well, that brings us to the third of your turn.
Man, it's quite the turn.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about at the beginning about making small changes because there's going to be lots of things.
Yeah.
Most of it is this
I feel like there's a lot of stuff in motion. I don't know what needs to be shoved.
Well, we aren't
It's
currently
tough.
addressing the orb, or the jackals, or the park, or the pyramid,
Or the subway.
or the subway, or the
The subway.
the subway, which it has been marked on the map this whole time, but we haven't done anything with it.
Okay, let's do a
Spice is still scarce. Habitable space is still a problem. It's even more of a problem now with the refugee crisis.
let's just do a quick project to set up some refugee housing. On the outskirts of town. It'll be kind of rushed, but we'll put it at 3. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I think we're gonna make
Alright.
it to the end of summer.
Looks like it, barely. Oh, it's like
I mean, we're 2 minutes to 10.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I
So-
thought that was a 5-0. Uh-oh. Oh no.
Wow,
Lord Dirthbert. Oh, it is my turn too, isn't it?
it is
Yeah.
your turn.
Oh, it's goddamn. As much as I want to start a foolish project, I think Lord Dirthbert is making his way in.
What a time to take over, Dirthbert.
So,
You want to take this place
um,
over?
Right.
This is
Lord
a
Dirthbert.
disaster.
Having his in through Lady Beatrice, and seeing that this community is in, it's nearly in chaos because it's being pulled in so many different directions. They have so many different problems. Lord Dirthbert has brought in his immortal elite, his exemplars, his high mages, and they are instituting laws and practices that all of us must follow. And it is changing our culture. He is, furthermore, let's see. I think he wants us to put an emphasis on the orb. He being guided by his own elders back home, want us to focus our efforts on the orb, and so he's having as much studies done of the orb and the caverns, and as they relate to each other. And that'll be what I'll say about that. And we'll drop these 2 3s down to 2s. Oh, I'm so happy that Lord Dirthbert finally got what he wanted.
But at what cost? Basically nothing. It was pretty much free.
That's pretty
Plus
much, yeah.
Lady Beatrice's hand.
Well, a lot of Gorgonzola was spent.
So it looks like we're 2 cards to the end of summer.
Yeah,
So do we want to just finish up summer and then call it a stream?
I think so. Yeah. So I do have a final third here. I do want to hold a discussion. I think. I want to know. You know, we've seen these figures moving, these things that came out of the orb moving towards the underground cavern. What do we know about them so far?
Well, we know that they have many faces and grasping tentacles, because we mentioned that before.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know that on their way to the underground cavern, they have been collecting any artifacts that they can... Anyone with an artifact that's got near them, or any artifacts that happen to be anywhere in the path, have been collected by these things for unknown reason.
They walk really weird. It's a weird thing to pick up on, but it's almost like 20 people are trying to walk at the same time using the same body, and it's really unnatural. Like, everyone has their own way of walking, and it's kind of like, well, to put a lighter tone on it, it's kind of like the Ministry of Silly Walks. But I mean, also scary, because these things are terrifying.
They can only be seen by those that are immortal, or those that have attuned themselves with artifacts.
I'll add one last thing. Their presence, their proximity, creates a lethal illness in gremlins that are nearby, and they die within days after being exposed to their proximity.
No, Chad.
We don't know if it will affect Chad.
It's true.
But they're his friends.
Yeah, true. They're his only friends. Everyone else hated Chad.
Oh, here's the thing that was supposed to help us out here.
Okay.
So,
Well,
instead there's only one card left.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So you get 2 actions, Carter,
Well, yeah, that's true.
and then we'll end it.
I get
This is the one we lost.
Okay.
Oh wait, is there another one? There was 2 more. So
Okay. So,
That's probably best for timing issues.
yeah. All right. So someone new arrives, or someone leaves.
Well,
Oop,
no, those were
Those were started.
the one that you got was Summer's Fleeting. Discard the top 2.
Oh,
You get to
discard
take
the top
2
two.
actions this week instead of having a
Right,
prompt.
got it. Okay.
So I'm going to discard this 4, or change the 4 to a 3. Change these to 1s. And what would your first action be?
Having 2 actions gives me a lot of stuff, but I'll try to do this quickly. I have an idea of what these things are doing, and so I kind of want to label... Can I declare these things to be part of our community so that I can give them a project?
Oh, I think
we
projects
established
have to be
that they're actually-
constructive.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if it's constructive, I mean, you know,
It is...
I mean, I'd say
Asterisk?
go for it.
All right, okay.
yeah, you can go for it. That seems reasonable.
So the these creatures that came out of the sphere are going to take the next 2 weeks, because we're out of ones, to bring as many artifacts as they can get to the island in the underground cavern.
Okay.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
And I'm also going to discover something new to add a little wrinkle to this situation, which is that one member of the archaeological team in the underground cavern had with her an artifact. She had been on the artifact research team a couple weeks prior and had one of the minor ones with her that she was still doing some extra studying on. And as the team approached, and as she specifically approached the tree, she dropped the artifact. She tripped over a root and dropped the artifact. And as the artifact touched the tree, it disappeared.
The artifact or the tree?
The artifact.
Okay.
The
Where
artifact,
was the tree at?
the tree in the underground cavern. The tree on the
Okay,
island.
it's on the
underground
island.
cavern. Yeah.
The tree on the island in the cavern.
In the bottom of the University of the Magical and Mysterious.
At the same time, researchers attempting to figure out how to contain the ever-growing obliterating sphere noticed that for a moment it shrunk.
Good night, everybody.
Well, was that a discovery then?
Yes, that was to discover something
Gotcha,
new.
gotcha. Okay, well,
I just wanted to
There's
add an
something-
extra wrinkle to bring this to KrakenQuake.
there's something deeply like quantum about our setup here. These very binary, symmetric reactions, things that are going on.
Yeah, and things
Um,
are very much tied to each other. I'm wondering what's tied to the tower. Because,
Ooh,
I think it's
yeah.
the cavern.
well, the cavern.
We got a hole. We got a pillar.
Well, the cavern's tied to the orb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
We don't know how exactly. The cavern is somehow tied to the orb.
We gotta find a hole.
We have a pyramid that's tied to the perfectly square part. I'm kind of
That's
wondering
true.
what's tied to the tower.
I hadn't really made that connection.
Is the subway and the underground food portal tied together?
Okay.
That's how they're getting in.
Well,
The subway.
thank you for coming with us on this diversion. And at some point we will be back to finish this. But next week we will be continuing our
Regular
romp
programming.
through the Red Hand of Doom. As for tomorrow,
Fifth server.
The Adventures of Aerith.
Aerith. And her getting all murdered and shit.
Yeah. Eventually.
And as for Instant Replay Live, we just had a Let's Play of Ghostbusters, the video game for NES, come out, and it's one of the worst games of all time. So if you want to see that, you should check it out. It's horrible. It's absolutely terrible.
that sounds like a ton of fun.
Sounds beautiful.
I'm gonna go check that out. But yeah, thank you for being with us. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your coworkers.
Tell your friends I said
Tell
hi.
your gremlins.
Tell your gods.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Don't tell Lord Dirthbert.
No, he's a dick. But tell your mom Happy Mother's Day. You
Lord
may be a little
Dickbert.
late, but you should tell her anyway.
Got him. That's propaganda.